The one thing you could go into right away off the top, vast improvement over the opening credits to Batman.
Yes.
In as much as this tells a story. Like the opening credits to Batman, as we saw last time, you're surfing around what becomes the bat symbol. They waste no time. This is a movie so fucking chock-a-block full of backstory and origin that as soon as the shield, the logo's out the way, they're like, all right, breathlessly, tell them all the backstory. They begin with, as so much of this movie has almost no fucking dialogue in it. They begin wordlessly at the Cobblepot Manor, where we get to see old Tim Burton alum, Pee Wee Herman,
yes,
Paul Rubens. And then his wife is played by the lady he sat in the dinosaur head with.
Oh, yeah.
In Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Not Big Top Pee Wee's Big Adventure. So the waitress who's just like, they're looking out at the fucking sunset or whatever the fuck. There they are right there.
What a beautiful couple.
Proving never fall in love with Pee Wee. This is kind of the Pee Wee story, man. He met her. They fell in love and shit. Then he got rich. Then he touched it in public. And then people were like, you better go hide in a mansion. That's his shame right there. Paul Rubens' shame is in that box. And he's like, we got to get rid of this fucking box.
Maybe we shouldn't be drinking formaldehyde, dear.
Shit like this, like, I guess, it's a stylistic choice. But this is a movie called Batman Returns, and I'm going to remind you every step of the way. Yeah, granted, we're only like a minute and a half into the picture, almost 2 minutes into it. Mm-hmm. Well, there ain't no hide nor hair.
No,
we
Batman
don't even
returning. See the word Batman.
It hasn't happened
yet. We don't have
yet.
the titles yet.
Like, hey, could you imagine you're sitting in a movie theater, you're like, what the fuck is this? Who? Pee Wee Herman? Isn't he the man that touched himself in a porno theater?
That was killing
then.
babies.
Yeah. Oh, this is the worst. This is a movie predicated on abortion of a living fetus. Look at this.
Yep.
Throwing a kid out, man. Like, you show me another mainstream movie. You got to give the movie credit to some degree. The only way this version of a Batman movie gets made is off of the fucking success of the first one. And so, Tim Burton's like, look, you want me back? I want to do what I want to do.
I want to do Moses. I want the villain of this movie to be Moses. Would that be okay?
Bad Moses.
Yeah.
Which, is kind of a weird statement. To take a central figure of someone's faith and be like, let's turn him into a fucking bird that wants to kill the children of others. We spend the first few minutes of the Batman Returns. You could spend it anywhere. You could be he could be touring us through the Batcave, many corners of the Batcave, showing us the arsenal and shit like that, as eventually Joel Schumacher would in his opening credits. He'd show you Batman putting together his utility belt, and sometimes he'd show you Batman's ass for no reason. But how do we spend it?
Well, there's a reason.
Yeah, of course. No reason. It gets all fucking hot and bothered. But we spend the opening moments of, finally, we're finding out what this is. Hey, the first mention of Batman, including some bats. This is it. The movie begins in a fucking sewer, man. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, all right, well, now let's get into it. Shit. Here comes the Batman march. Let's see an opening sequence of him maybe beating up Two-Face or the goddamn Riddler. Shit, I'd even take King Tut from the old TV show. But instead,
nope.
We're going to follow this fucking, this baby basket all through the fucking sewers, man.
And like, it could have been, hey, let's show Bruce Wayne's childhood. Let's show him growing up with Alfred. If we're going to go back.
Which is what Nolan did. Yeah. When he flashed back, he would flash back, more to like Bruce Wayne, being that his story is central to the Batman tale.
Batman Begins. No, we're going to go and talk about Ra's al Ghul for a while. Like half an hour at the beginning of this movie.
That's true. He's basically took his cues from this. You'll see as we watch this, he took a lot of cues from this fucking movie. Stan Winston, God rest his soul, he's dead, isn't he?
Yeah.
Passed. Stan Winston made all the monsters of our youth, man. Fucking, the T-Rex.
T-Rex in
motherfucking
Jurassic Park, Terminator 2, Terminator 1.
Oh, come on. This dude was an absolute legend.
In Aliens.
Here he's got some, he did I guess he did the Danny DeVito penguin thing, and he does the penguins, that march around at one point in this. Not the finest hour, in terms of, especially toward the end when the Emperor penguins come out and do a little funeral march. Spoilers. It's crazy. You're just like, that looks like my parents dressed up for Halloween. This is I think the first time they're going without Anton First. I think he
passed away.
Committed suicide after the first flick, and so he didn't wind up on this flick. So I think it's Bob Ringwood.
You never see the Monarch.
Excellent call, dude. We see a new Gotham where instead of the Monarch, every shot is centered on Gotham fucking Square. But once again, Gotham remains the fucking least populated fucking town in this on the planet. This is a little unnerving, man. I mean, it's only slightly less traumatic to open a Batman movie with an abortion. This is actually going like, oh, we let the baby be born and then we threw it out because that's metal, throwing out babies, dump them in a sewer with lots of penguins. And this is 33 years later, dude. That's not Moses. That's Jesus. This is the Penguins Jesus year.
I haven't accomplished enough in my Jesus year. What should I do?
I should fucking I'll run for mayor. That's what. I'll get into politics. Right away, you're like, okay, the set's gotten different. I don't remember this from before. It's not the Monarch. It's a different angle of Gotham. And again, a Gotham crowd is gathering.
But like 18 people.
That's it. Right away, you're just like, Jesus Christ. This is like a small town. This is like Little House on the Prairie, all gathering because the school bell is being fucking rung, man. It's just nobody's there. And I mean, that's why you applaud Chris Nolan. He must have watched these movies and been like, let's just shoot in the fucking real world. Like all of this kind of looks goofy and set like. And again, it was so weird in the late 80s with Batman and now in the early 90s with this. We were so quick to be like, this ain't fucking that a Batman TV show, man. And it's close. It's real fucking close. I mean, in as much as it's insanely fucking set driven. We're back with Michael Gough as, or Gough, or
Gough,
is that what it is? As, Alfred. And of course, a 30-year-old paper boy.
Yes.
This is the kid that Scrooge hins a fucking couple pets. He's like, go get me a goose, boy. This dude's been hanging outside Scrooge's house for 30 years, waiting for a second round of change. That dude's old. It looks like, what's his name? Buscemi's brother.
Oh, yeah.
I think. I don't know. He's got a familiar look about him, but Jesus. There's still the style, is owing more to, of course, the previous Batman film. So dudes are wearing hats, ladies are wearing dresses and shit like that.
Sort of timeless deco.
It's got that timeless art deco kind of thing. And then we've added Shrek's department store, which is so fucking massive. Of course, we couldn't have missed it in the first movie. But we did somehow.
Because who builds a department store with a giant kitten on the head? Like, right how is that a thing? That's your logo?
And who's fucking seeing it up there? Yeah. Like everyone on the ground, they're like, put the fucking head down here, man. Here we go. It's the man himself, Christopher Walken. I would do an impression, but everyone's got their Walken, and I don't think I need to add to it. And here's the plot being put in motion. He's talking to the mayor. I think his name's Michael Murphy. He played Tanner 88. Remember the Robert Altman series?
Yeah.
So I think when they cast him as mayor, there were a lot of highbrow cats who were just like, oh, Tanner 88 is the mayor. Politico. That's kind of funny. That's about where it ends.
Yeah.
He seems so fucking out of place in this movie because this dude's a serious actor. I mean, look, Christopher Walken's a serious actor, but the other guy who plays the mayor, he's not used to being a comic at all or playing comedically. And he's like in a different movie, the whole fucking flick.
Yeah. And you have to think that maybe he did it to get paid, but like where on the depth chart is this dude? How much is he getting paid for this?
At this point, right? For that fucking role. We're introduced to a Selina Kyle we don't know from the comic books at all.
No.
Now, Selina Kyle's origin is all over the joint. In the New 52, they're redefining her because, a lot of us were like, she used to be a hooker. And they're like, well, that was only since Dark Knight Returns. And then we kept it in year one or something, or year one, actually. Well, they reference it in Dark Knight Returns as she's older. And then in year one, they flat out say she was a prostitute. But in the New 52, they're like, look, in a world where we're redoing everything, let's not make one of our only female characters a hooker.
Yeah.
So I don't think she is anymore. I don't think this is the origin either, though. I damn sure hope not. Like this Selina Kyle origin is so off model. It almost makes you forgive Halle Berry's version of Catwoman.
Close. But like there's no reason she has to be, there's nothing specific about her that leads you to believe, oh yeah, I know, I'm going to hunt the streets for vengeance. Really?
Yeah.
Like, this girl?
And also, like, Catwoman, of course, should be Batman fixated and really isn't. She's Max Shrek fucking fixated.
Yeah.
The plot is predicated, it's set in motion by Max Shrek wanting to build a power plant, which, as we said before, would be pulling power because, as the mayor told us, Max, there's a surplus of power in the city.
But I need more power.
Nice. Fucking right on, man. That was
It's because
pretty
I was,
but that performance, you gave more life to the performance than Christopher Walken gives in this movie. Him waving to the crowd right there.
That's it.
That is the most into it he ever fucking seems.
The thing I love though is that Max Shrek's son also has a Christopher Walken accent. Like he's doing a Walken impersonation to be his kid.
I thought like it was going to be a subplot where Max Shrek genetically grew his son to place his brain into, because it's such a weird subplot. And I remember when they were casting this movie, and this is pre-internet, so any little piece of information would be on like Entertainment Tonight or Premiere Magazine. And I remember at one point they were like, this guy's going to play the son of Max Shrek. And you were like, oh, this guy, he's fucking amazing. Who is this guy?
I don't know.
I forgot to look him up, but there was a point where casting him was a big fucking to do. They made some news announcement about it, but I didn't. And the Ice Princess too, or the Winter Princess.
Was she somebody?
Yeah, I mean, look, they're all somebody, man. But she did something beyond this, I believe. I think he did too. This speech is kind of bizarre. The whole fucking, you know, like, sue me if I want to give a little back. Look at Gotham. Like,
yeah.
It looks like they're gathered around a street performer more so than the fucking mayor. You would think Max Shrek was like fucking busking for quarters.
Does somebody have a boom box?
If you were to do the Christmas tree lighting in Rockefeller Center in New York, and this many people showed up, they would never do it again.
Yeah, just shut it down.
They'd be like, nobody fucking cares. And the town is so fucking busy and facing all in one direction, like every city.
Yes.
That nobody notices, of course, the giant fucking box that's coming up, except the 40-year-old newspaper boy. He doesn't fucking say, oh,
what?
Extra.
Stop the presses. Giant present invades Gotham City.
This was, I remember, for me, up until this point, the most badass Batman moment in a Batman movie. The attack of the Red Triangle Circus Gang. Cause you were like, holy shit, man. Like there's a gang. Like, you know, last time was the Joker and Joker's minions, but you knew the Penguin and the Catwoman were coming, but this was just some random fucking gang attacking Gotham City. Like that's a cool way to open the movie. Like give us a little action, cause we just spent the first 10 minutes watching a baby nearly drown in the beginning of the movie. So show us like fucking terrorists attacking the fucking set of Gotham. I was going to say Gotham City, but Gotham City, if you will. Look at this guy. Rosebud. He's so fucking mad. Slids. I'm going to slay you, Gordon. There's a missed opportunity. This was my favorite fucking moment in this movie. And maybe one of my favorite moments in cinema of all time. Bruce Wayne brooding in the dark. That was close to Batman. I like this little touch too.
But these mirrors though, like the mailman doesn't notice the giant fucking bat mirrors outside. Hey, Mr. Wayne likes the bat mirrors. I don't know.
I'm too lazy to look out the window. I need something to make the light look at me. But it was a cool fucking notion. The notion of like, it picks up the
like,
fucking signal.
I like that they address the idea that there's no reason he should, in the middle of the country, see the light above Gotham City. So there needs to be some mechanism.
Or look at this, man. Fucking, I wish I was alive at this point, dude. I had like a degree of the fame. I could have been that fat clown. Like, I'm not saying I'd ever be a penguin, but I definitely could have been that fucking fat clown, man. Kevin Smith as the fat clown. And that fat clown doesn't have a happy fate. Okay. Batmobile is the first time we see, Batman in the movie, man. Like, I love that scene so much where he stands up into the light and shit.
Dun, dun, dun.
I started standing up in fucking in rooms because of that scene, dude. I would just stand up like Bruce Wayne, like he stood up into that fucking shot and like,
just find me a spotlight, I'll stand up into it.
Batmobile's still not fucking there yet. It's on its way, man. And when he pulls up, you'll note,
fuck your teddy bear.
The whole fucking thing stops. Their attack ends just because Batman pulls up. That's how fucking badass he is.
Now we're 15 minutes into the movie before we finally see Batman? Is that about where we are?
I think so. I think that, let me see, what I've written down. First time we saw Bruce Wayne was at 1301. First time I like that shit though, knocking those big headed dudes off. I mean, Batman in the movies does a lot of work from his fucking car. He doesn't put himself in fucking harm's way.
He's a telecommuter, really.
And really, I think if you count back, maybe there are 6 people he interacts with to end this, including these 2 dudes on the hood of his fucking car. It's not like he fucking takes on 12 fucking people or something like that. He pulls up, puts these dudes through the window, then he fucking fights John Lovitz over here in this fucking devil costume. One of the worst inventions of hydraulic lift.
Yeah, this is when I started to call bullshit on I have things in my car I will only ever use once.
In just such an occasion. He just fucking fried a guy alive. One of the least Batman things you could fucking do.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's just like, this'll teach you.
Burns.
Sick burn. This is him, pulling up, of course. This fat clown, I'm telling you, I could have played this fat clown as well. One more step, Mr. Batman, and I'll, when he says it. I like that though, right then and there. Like, yeah, bitch, just randomly hit one fucking dude as he's on his way.
Are you involved in the crime? I don't care.
Yeah. I was here to help. He fucking decks him. This bit was in every fucking trailer and commercial and shit. Wouldn't she have been hit by the concrete wall as
probably.
well?
But he doesn't care.
He doesn't even give her the time of day, man. He won't talk to her or anything like that. And meanwhile, she goes into this weird fucking soliloquy. And this is close to people popping out of a window as Batman climbs a building and just starts chit-chatting to him. Like, that's not that far removed from fucking, the Batman fucking TV show. 1301 is the first time we see Bruce Wayne, dude. First time we saw Batman, 14 minutes, 25 seconds into the picture.
How is this not a studio note? Could we see Batman earlier?
They didn't seem to care, man. But again, like, even if you have a note, what are you going to say? Like, this is the guy who just made Batman for you. Like, this big fucking it wasn't $1 billion franchise, but like $500 million or something. They're like, I'm sure he knows when it meant something. They're like, I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Let him fucking do it.
Let him just hate fuck Batman on the screen.
Meanwhile, this is like fucking, again, all the rich history of Batman you could choose from. And you choose to do that moment. That never comes with. I hated this because fucking Commissioner Gordon's all good. He's like, thank you for saving the city. Batman won't even give him the time of day. He's like, fuck off.
And he's just walking. Like, Batman is not urgent to do anything here.
Yeah. And he's like letting people look down on him. Like, it's like, you don't know that this fucking attack on the city's over. He's just pimping around and shit, not talking to people, not talking to her, won't talk to the mayor. It's like, that fucking Batman's awfully truculent. What a prick.
I mean, night.
He's helpful, but Jesus, fucking, how about just say something for Christ's sakes?
Vacation commissioner.
I hated how he ignored Commissioner Gordon. What a bad prick. That's the thing Chris Nolan got right. Like, or establish that relationship right away. They never did that in any of these movies. There was never a connection between Gordon and Batman. Now,
what kind of fucking amusement park is this with like giant crabs and spiders and upended scorpions? Like,
and P.S., why the fuck is it closed? This looks like the most fun thing ever. How did this go under? How does this not work? If you can't make Arctic World work, what's the point in trying, man?
Maybe because the 14 people in Gotham City had something else to do that summer.
Yeah, they're like, we need more people in this city if we're going to keep Arctic World open. This is where we get to see Danny DeVito, man, in all his fucking glory. Some of these penguins are real. Some of them are Stan Winston specials.
And all of them wish they weren't there then.
Look at this set, dude. Look at how big it is. They must have I think they shot this in England like the other one.
Pinewood.
So they built this on the Pinewood stages, this massive fucking Gotham sewer, which, now that I think about it, one of many crossovers with the Nolan verse. We spent time in the sewers of Gotham in the last Nolan Batman movie as well. There are a few. We'll hit a few of them along the way, man. In terms of like, hey, he did this. He did this. That line he did though, when fucking Shrek comes in, he's like, I believe the word you're looking for is Come on, dude. Someone got paid to write that line.
Yeah, Sam Hamm.
And Daniel Waters.
Yeah. Sam Hamm, Waters rewrote him. And then Wesley Strick came in and polished it.
Without a credit?
Without a credit. Yeah.
He was the writer on the Superman script that I read before they hired me to do Superman back in 96. Wesley Strick did a draft.
Like post-Wolf, he was...
I guess. I mean, I think he had done Final Analysis for Warner Brothers or something like that. But there was a scene where Superman went to see his therapist and, was talking about having a double life or something like that. Which was just kind of like, now that you say like, oh, he wrote for this, it's kind of like, oh, I guess.
There it is.
Maybe in keeping. But I ain't going to blame him, man. I don't know who takes the bullet on this script. It can't be just Sam Hamm. I think it maybe more Dan Waters than anything else. Dan Waters, of course, had written The Great Heathers. And had he done anything with Tim Burton? No.
I don't think so. I think Burton just liked Heathers a lot.
Yeah, quite a bit.
And post Batman, he had enough power to be like, hey, I like this guy. He's weird like I'm weird.
Yeah, he's like, he likes freaks like me. And so Warner Brothers is like, let him go.
Well, I think he'd hired Dan Waters to write a sequel to Beetlejuice.
Is that right?
I think so. And that's how they started working together.
I remember reading a draft of a Batman 2 script that featured the Penguin as a villain. I think it was written by a husband and wife team. Like, not the ones that wrote 12 Monkeys, but like,
the Peoples,
was
right?
Unforgiven. Yeah. Was it David Webb Peoples?
Yeah, Janet Peoples, I think.
Maybe they wrote a draft of a Batman 2. And it was about these, raven busts or something like that. These bird busts that people like Gotham's elite, the children of Gotham, once again were play Oswald Cobblepot. The Cobblepot family and the Wayne family were old money families in Gotham. And there was an introduction of Robin as well, which at one point they were talking about doing Robin in Batman Returns, and it was going to be, do you remember?
No.
Marlon Wayans.
Oh, right.
That was this movie.
Wow.
And there's a draft of this script where they did introduce Robin, but they were like, Tim Burton, I guess wisely toward production was like, look, we've got Batman, Catwoman, fucking Penguin. I brought in Max Shrek. I really cast up Max Shrek's kid. That's going to be a whole fucking storyline. How the hell are we going to do Robin as well? And so they left Robin out of it, and it was handled, of course, later on by Joel Schumacher.
The capable hands of Joel Schumacher.
This blackmail scene, probably one of the most painful in the whole fucking movies. Like, just if you want, I mean, I know he's like, I need your help, Max Shrek. I missed, this guy made you miss Burgess Meredith. Like, Danny DeVito's version of the Penguin is like a sea pig. Penguins aren't this dirty. Like, look at him with the fucking goo running and the weird fucking teeth and shit. Like, penguins aren't known to be dirty birds. Although I do like this line. Remember me? I'm Fred's hand. But penguins, I don't think of like dirt or filth or grime.
No,
when I think of penguins.
I think of birds in fine evening wear.
Yeah, tuxedos. They're little tuxedos.
They're classy birds.
But this guy, man, his version of the fucking penguin is like, he's a mutant. He was a little aquatic bird boy. You could see there's, later on you see headlines like, the circus, has the aquatic bird boy. So I guess in their mythos, the Cobblepots pitch out their kid. This fucking penguins find him in the sewer. God knows how. And then he joins this fucking circus that goes around town.
But like penguins raised him?
I mean, you would think that would be my number one problem with this movie, but I'll even go with that. I'm like, sure, why not?
But it feels like you should do penguins raised him or the circus raised him. You don't need both.
That seems like two notes at a studio table, and they were like, do both.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's fine.
We'll get them both. We'll get the penguin audience and the circus fans.
And the carny audience.
This is, let's see where we are in the picture, man. What is that?
23 minutes.
We're 23 minutes into the picture. Again, rich tapestry of DC Comics Batman history to be pulling from. Just put Batman in the movie at all.
He's been on the screen for 90 seconds in which he punched two dudes.
And didn't talk to anybody.
We're almost half an hour in.
They're like, there he goes, bat prick. Did you see him ignore me? I'm the goddamn commissioner, and he ignored me. I thanked him for saving the city. He was a little suck up in that scene, though. He's like, thank you for saving the city, Batman. I'll suck it for you if you want.
Because we have no cops.
Well, there's 18 people in Gotham. Only 2 of them are cops. Why would you be a cop in fucking Gotham?
There's no reason.
I mean, it's like you're going to get fucking killed by one of these crazed lunatics who are going after Batman. You're just going to become cannon fodder in somebody else's fucking war. Why does she have hello there on her wall?
No idea. I was about to bump on the fact that her apartment is huge on a secretary salary. But since there's only 12 people in Gotham, everybody gets a giant fucking apartment.
This is like heaven. In heaven, everyone has a huge apartment.
The Jefferson's pad just belongs to everybody.
She's moving on up. She does not seem remotely like the type of person that would have neon hello there on her wall.
No.
Like there's not a lot of shit, but not a lot of ideas put into this, man. Like not a lot of logic, I guess.
Who is this woman? I don't know, but we want to have hell here on her wall at some point. So I know she's this chick.
Yeah.
She's the pink lady. She's like Pinky Tuscadero if she was a stewardess.
That was like the wildest thing she'd ever done in her life up to that point. She was like, I'm going to buy that fucking neon.
It's like, oh, you watch.
It cost so much money. She had to actually get a job. She's like, I get to live in this apartment free because it's a city that's devoid of people. It's like one of those places like sometimes you go to Alaska, like, we'll pay you to live up here. Same thing in fucking Gotham. We'll give you your own apartment and shit. This sequence here is where for some fucking reason, he feels the need to fucking push her out a window that doesn't belong on the top floor of any building. Wait till you see this window. She goes on spoilers. If, you know, again, they're having a conversation right now, but trust me, you can feel the menace. And if you can't feel it, Danny Elfman will drum it into your fucking head with that fucking score of his. Danny Elfman is back, of course, to do the score. On this picture, variations of his previously done themes. There's a new Catwoman type theme that they use for her. But generally speaking, you know, it's the Batman March. It's I can't say many things are wrong with that fucking theme song.
No, I mean it survived into the animated series.
Yeah,
and so like I got nothing but love for that.
I heard a story though, and this could be like what's why told out at school. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but. Danny Elfman like didn't care about the Batman cartoon. Like he was like, I'm fucking making movies, man. I'm doing movie scores. But he had done the Simpsons theme and Simpsons Fox Primetime. He started seeing checks right the fuck away. So all of a sudden, if you remember correctly, Batman, the animated series started running at night at first. So when he heard that they were going to be running it at night, apparently he was like, oh, I want my theme used for this Batman cartoon, and they weren't planning on it. And then suddenly they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, great. That's great for everybody. But he didn't care or do much of the, I mean, really the genius behind the Batman animated score is Shirley Walker, I believe her name is. Not to be confused with Shirley Hempel from Good Times, but she is a genius in her own right.
Or Shirley Bassey.
Or Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple Black.
What? But,
yeah, she is.
She sure is. Not to be confused with Shirley Temple White. This is the Alexis Carrington of the modern age. This is she was the woman who did like dun 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 dun, which was kind of a signature theme of the Batman series, and that was meant to be the Batman animated series theme. But instead, Elfman was like, "Hey man, fucking bat me," and again, who knows if that fucking story's true or not? But that's a story I heard from somebody who had an ear to the ground. Somebody who works in that area who might know or something. But, you know, that person, Danny Elfman's not here to defend himself. So.
Did you know that there are lyrics to the Star Trek theme song?
No. Star Trek.
Yeah.
Out here in the sky.
As the story goes, Alexander Courage wrote the music. We're not going to talk about Batman now.
Yeah, I mean, we can't. Look, we'll give you a fucking nod to this is one of the worst supervillain origins in the history of comic book movies.
Mystic Cats turn her into a demigod.
And this is one of these things where like people go, is this how she was Catwoman in the comics? And you're like, God, no. If this was it, I wouldn't be reading this shit. This is ridiculous. And it is weird to draw a thin line where you're like, this is horse shit. But a guy who could jump, buildings in a single bound, that's real. That could be real.
I just like to imagine other animals that could have sniffed around her dying body, like
raccoons,
armadillos
biting on her fingers. Armadillo woman. Yes, Batman. She's got a bald cap on and shit. Like, oh.
She tucks herself into a crouch every time danger comes.
Appears from a corner. There you go. You got cats biting her fingers and shit. What does that have to do? Are they just reviving her? Like, wake up, wake up. Or are they saying the cat power is transferred in the bite?
Here's what it is.
Please explain.
The ancient Egyptian god of Bast,
Right.
who was the cat goddess of life and eternity, is being passed throughout cat saliva to...
Great. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean...
Because you've done more to explain why she got up than this movie ever bothered to do. If they would have done that, if they would have been like, this is a fucking Patsis thing from the cat of ancient Egypt, great. But they didn't even fucking bother. I was never sure. I'm watching the movie going like, maybe she survived the fall and the cats just kind of woke her up by biting her fingers. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. How she survives that fall? Nah.
But this is like, I understand it's a real fucking trailer moment, but come on, dude. So tough to like defend this people. Like, you're trying to get laid out there in the world and shit. And you're like, yeah, I like comics and shit. And then you sit down and watch this with a girl you like, and she's like, so Catwoman drinks milk. And you're like, oh God, not in the comics, man. She don't drink milk in the comics.
Man, she's a whore in the comics.
Yeah, in the comics, she drink titty milk, man, because she one of them crazy hookers, man. You can pay her to do anything in the comics. This is, where she starts going apeshit at the fact that she's got a fucking pink phone and she don't like her decor.
How did I become this person? And there is a steel beam going through her apartment.
You can't feel the trains on that fucking shit as they come through. Look at this, dude. This is how you fucking like, I am woman, hear me roar. I'm gonna fucking stuff all my stuffed animals, generic though they may be.
Yes.
Straight down the fucking garbage disposal. We are at the, what is that, 31-minute mark? Almost 32? It's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen the title, the titular character, Mark.
Yes.
They might as well call this motherfucker Catwoman.
I hate these pictures.
In a world where you're bashing and breaking things, man, first thing you should do is go in there and break that hello there sign, which I'm sure she'll get to sooner or later.
Much.
And of course, all these cats are coming in her apartment and shit like that, and that also adds to it. I thought she was going to spray those cats in the face. Like, fuck you! Why'd you bring me back to this life of pain?
The most half-ass vandalism ever.
Look at this shit, dude. It's just like, oh, I hate nighties. I want to sleep nude.
She could sell that now, though. That's totally like Stussy.
Signed by Michelle Pfeiffer. It's coming soon.
There it is.
Soon she's going to bring here.
If
here
you
it
introduce
comes.
it. There it is.
I've always wanted to hit that in the right place. I hate this fucking dollhouse. This is the birth of a supervillain. Somewhere Lex Luthor is like, yeah, she's a bad guy. He's like, I'm killing motherfuckers with rocks from space. This bitch is just ripping up posters and shit. How does this fucking qualify?
I can sew. Suddenly I can sew.
This is the stupidest origin, Catwoman origin in the history of Catwoman origins, and that's saying a lot considering there is a fucking Halle Berry film. This is the moment in Batman Returns, I almost said Catwoman Returns, where Michelle Pfeiffer becomes her character from Grease 2. She wants a cool rider at this
Batman
point.
is a cool rider?
Yeah, I want a cool rider. Look at her, man. She's hard-ass now. Before, not so much. She was the Maxwell Caulfield character. This is really just a very subtle Grease 2 remake with her playing both the Maxwell Caulfield role and the Michelle Pfeiffer role.
I have not seen such intense sewing since Silence of the Lambs.
so like the wind.
She is Buffalo Billing the shit out of that coat.
Showing people sewing in movies is like showing people reading or typing. There's been a lot of rash, of course, of internet movies or people typing or a lot of computer shit online and shit like that in movies now. And as you watch it, you're like, this counts?
Really?
But it's a reflection of what people do. Now, sewing? Nobody sews anymore, dude. Nobody really sews anymore. You're hard pressed to find somebody who sews. She's got her own sewing machine and shit like that. You look closely at that mask when they get on close-ups. It's supposed to be like pieces stitched together, but you can see it's all one piece with like white paint stitching it together. Once again, fucking 15 people. Someone's cousin came in so they've got 20 people in Gotham today. The saddest media turnout, like channel. I mean, if you go to New York, they got 5 networks. So no matter what you do, the mayor does anything, minimum 5 networks there. In Gotham, 1 channel, dude.
Pretty much.
It's pretty much like Russia. old Russia, not even new Russia, man. This is like communist Russia. That's where this whole fucking thing is set.
I do like that these people just seem forced to go to everything.
Yeah, like
We're lighting the tree.
if you're gonna live here, you better be here. Like, all right.
Mayor speaking, we must show up.
This is Chernobyl. That's why this dude's all fucked up down below in the sewer. Look at this. Could you imagine anything more terrifying than a clown stealing your baby? Oh my God.
And nobody moving to stop him. Like everybody's still sitting down.
Yeah, they're like so horrified. Like, surely he'll give it back. Nobody tries to stop him. But give that dude points, man. To fall exactly down that hole without fucking up the baby.
That was some Cirque du Soleil shit right
Pretty
there.
damn impressive. Yeah, you ain't kidding, man. He's one of those dudes. Like, he's a parkour dude. He's parkour before parkour. This fucking rubber duck, I swear to you, they're going to get their money's worth in this movie because this fucking duck won't go away. Why wouldn't they make it a big penguin? Why did it have to be a duck? That makes no sense to me. Just to be like rubber duckies, they're funny.
Because children like them for the Happy Meals.
Yeah, fucking, which again, this movie, as this man comes up from the sewer with a baby that was just stolen from its mother's arms. I remind you, this movie had a Happy Meal. Toys in it, fries, little burger and shit like that.
And nobody asked twice, where did you get the baby from? Did you beat him up?
Yeah, what happened down there? There's some noises. You hear him go like, please, Mr. Penguin Man, don't hurt me. But no one follows up on the story, man. I love this room though. I remember like seeing this movie and being like, fuck, that's when you know you're rich, man. When you can live in your fireplace. Look how big that fucking fireplace is, man. It's crazy.
How small that TV is.
It is kind of tiny, isn't it? When you look at this scene, you're like, okay, what is this? 36? That's the first time we've seen Bruce Wayne since,
Rocking a cable knit.
yeah. Oh, there he is.
Bruce.
He's like,
He's got like 3 shirts on.
he's wearing Old Spice and shit. His cologne comes out of a bottle with a little ship on it.
Dracar Noir.
He is, let me see. Next Bruce I've got at 35:47. Catwoman outfit is done at 33:33. So it has, last time we saw Batman or Bruce Wayne was at the 17-minute, 12-second mark. Next time we saw him was at 35:47, dude. Like,
Just pops into his own movie.
how many minutes is that? That is almost 18 minutes later. They're like, oh yeah, Batman's in this movie. Shit. And he's fucking, and where do they show him? Is he beating ass? No, he's tree trimming with Alfred, watching TV. These fuckers watch a lot of TV in this movie, man.
That's how he fights crime, by the television. See, here's the thing. It's Batman returns to his own movie every 15 minutes.
That's the long title. Yeah. But they're like, let's just change it to Batman Returns. I wonder what that building is.
Is it a record store?
Like, quick, everyone leave from fucking Town Square and go to the Hall of Records. I'm telling you, this isn't fucking Batman or Gotham City as much as a local production of The Music Man. We're in fucking River City. Where's fucking Shapoopy's about to break out on these steps any fucking minute now?
The monorail?
I guess it's one of the reasons why Chris Nolan's like, fuck it, take it off the stage, man.
Pittsburgh.
Put it in the real world. Throw it in Chicago. Like, you throw it in a real city. It just has a fucking look to it. You could see the night sky. You do all this shit. But, there he is. Penguin in a monocle.
So, but what is he looking for? Is he looking for the firstborns of Gotham? Is he looking for his parents?
He's telling the world that he's looking for his parents. I think he knows who he is. What he's doing though, his ongoing plan, first Batcave is at 38 minutes, 12 seconds. And it's a bigger Batcave than we saw last time.
He changed turtlenecks.
He did. He's like, I got it. Don't worry. I got 1 million of these sweaters.
I'm going down.
They paid me $10 million. You know how many fucking sweaters that is in $1992?
I also like to imagine that Bruce Wayne's teeth have been so fucked up that he can only drink soup. Every time we've ever seen him eat,
he's only sipping soup. That's right. He should take out his fucking falsies and shit. He's like a goalie ever fucking getting his teeth knocked out. This is, once again, he's wearing those glasses that made me go like, fuck, I should get glasses. See how the old man's wearing glasses and then the young man who's supposed to be Batman is wearing glasses. I don't know if you want a fucking nearsighted Batman. Like, you punched the wrong person. He's like, I can't wear my lenses in these fucking cowls. I'm sorry, ma'am. Oh God, my lens is behind my eye. Wait, time out. No fighty, no fighty. There it is, man. Suddenly fucking aquatic bird boy and shit like that. He's an out loud reader. You can see he's one of those guys who moves his mouth when he reads. He talks out loud when he doesn't read the full sentence. They say when you do that, you're helping yourself process thought. So they say geniuses like Einstein talked out loud a lot like that. So I'll buy that. I don't think they did it for that reason.
No.
I think, Michael Keaton was just like, I feel like I don't have enough to do in this movie. Can I at least read this article out loud, Tim?
Just talk to a dude in a room for a while.
This I remember digging when I saw it in the movie, going like, oh yeah, Batman just tooling around, like patrolling the city. He don't do that in comics. He don't patrol the city in his car. He patrols it swinging across the city rooftops or sitting on a rooftop and shit like that.
But it's snowing and he's fragile.
Yeah, he's just like
drank
so
cold
chilly.
soup.
Look at this shit. Fucking, why would you put a video camera, a video shot of your butler who's not wearing a mask?
Yes, ironing your shit.
Or anybody walking past your car could be like, is that Bruce Wayne's butler on your TV?
Why do you have that?
He's like, I like butler porn. It's closed circuit butler porn. He buttles and I jerk to it. Look at this, man. For a second ago, he had this really nice moment in Wayne Manor where he's watching Penguin on TV. And Alfred's like, what's wrong? And he's just like, oh, his parents. I hope he finds them. And he's real sympathetic and shit. For no good reason, dude. A couple minutes later, he's just like, I don't trust this penguin.
Nah, circus folk.
I didn't know he was from a fucking circus. Ew, I just fucking hate circus folk.
Carnies.
One of my favorite flubs in movie history, man, is you watch Cobblepot here, Oswald Cobblepot, as he goes up to his parents' grave. This gravestone he's about to pass on his right, look how fucking powerful he is. He can move the stone just by touching it. Oh, come on. I mean, there's not a better take of that. The editor didn't think, and we'd all see that and shit like that. We wouldn't notice that he moved a gravestone. Pulled me right out the scene. Okay, this fucking sequence here, him going to his parents' grave, 3 minutes. Long, no dialogue, just a lot of fucking Danny Elfman score. Once again, just like as Mark pointed out in the first movie, Batman, 1989's Batman, Tim Burton, not very interested in Batman, interested in what he's interested in, and that's what the movie's made up of.
Right. He likes monsters. He likes the social misfit, the outcast. So it's all these people doing their story. I'm like, well, what about the hero? Fuck that hero.
He even says at one point he has Penguin later on in the movie, spoilers, cause I'll let you know, Batman wins.
FYI.
He has the Penguin fucking saying to him like, you're just mad cause I'm a genuine freak and you've got to wear a mask. And it's like a lot of people go like, I watch your movies and I hear you speaking through your characters. I really heard Tim Burton speaking through his fucking character in this movie, man. Almost every time fucking Penguin speaks, you're just like, did Tim write that line?
I mean, and like you could make a really interesting movie about two orphans, two people who without parents.
Children of privilege as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to do the whole fucking, they threw a baby into the sewer and it grew into a weird penguin man. But you can do children of privilege.
Yeah. There's actually like class stories to be told here. There apparently
Philip Seymour Hoffman would be an amazing penguin. You think about Philip Seymour Hoffman in Mission Impossible 3. Where he was just like, do you have a wife or a girlfriend? I'm going to find her. I'm going to hurt her. Like, that's the fucking, hey, that's a pretty good Philip Seymour Hoffman in that scene. Thank you. From memory. But B, that is the penguin right there. Never mind this fucking, I am a freak and I talk like this and my teeth are green. And there's that fucking 80-year-old newspaper boy.
extra.
Just do him as a hardcore fucking like, arms salesman, just like that. Like Philip Seymour Hoffman in Mission Impossible 3, that to me, that's the penguin. Just a dude who's, I'm going to find her. I'm going to hurt her.
I'm going to make you watch.
Fucking, that's so badass. This is the scene where Catwoman acts more like Batman does in the entire movie.
She is actually protecting the city.
And that could have been a rape. It looked like he was reaching down. I don't know if he was going for his purse or for his fucking, his buttons on his pants. But I remember watching that like just recently and being like, what the fuck? I mean, this is a kid's movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, they had a Happy Meal. What was about to happen in this alley was not happy whatsoever. But this is a happy occurrence, man. She comes in, saves the day, but then she gives this chick some shit for it.
Yeah, for like walking.
Yeah, she's like, you're the kind of bitch that would have a hello there fucking neon sign in your room, aren't you? And she's like, hey, I'm your neighbor. If anyone here has a sign, it's you. Once again,
your house is all purple.
you can't. This looks more populated than any other Gotham we've seen. When you spread out those 18 people, it looks pretty good. It's just when you gather them in the town square that it looks fucking bad.
Right. Now it's Bruce Wayne businessman, like doing Bruce Wayne businessman shit. It's like, I'm wearing a suit. I got a portfolio. I know things.
He also plays his fucking Batman hand in this scene. Like at one point, like I do like when he whips this report at him across the table and shit. I thought that was kind of smooth move. There are little touches where I'm always like, yeah, right on. But that don't read as Batman or Bruce Wayne to me. That's Michael Keaton right there, which is fine. Like whatever, you bring whatever you can to it, but it's not the Batman I know from the comics. I know this is picayune and stuff. And at the time, believe me, I wasn't sitting there going, Batman wouldn't throw a piece of paper across the room like that. I was just happy to see any fucking Batman movie.
He'd fire it from a gun on his belt.
He'd walk it around. Yeah, he'd grapple it over. But he's got this thing here where he fucking plays his hand, where he's just like, I know, that Cobblepot's working with the Red Triangle Circus Gang. I can't prove it. But it's like, what? You're a businessman. That would be like the guy who owns fucking Bill Gates walking into the office of the guy who owns Macy's and be like, I think you're involved with organized crime in this city and I can't fucking prove it. This is a scene where he calls himself Muhammad Shrek. Right there. He's just like, I can't prove it. And then he says, oh shit, there's a lady here. And she's followed by a fucking dude who is going to be the body of his father. He puts his brain into his body.
Why do you have a Russian boxer in your office?
Dad, let's go. This sequence is, once again, dude, somebody got paid to write the line. That's my name, Maximilian. Don't wear it out. I'll make you buy me a new one. Again, I've written some fucking lines like, fucking, I'm giving you a stink pump. I guess I got nothing to be proud of either. But for the love of God, for a cinematic legacy of the Batman, another draft. You know what I'm saying?
Pass at this.
Holy shit. Because this, my friend, in retrospect, is the gateway to Schumacher. This is like on many fronts. Because this movie didn't do as well as the previous Batman movie, Warner Brothers said next time around, we want somebody who's going to lighten it up a little bit and shit.
So we can earn the Happy Meal.
Yes. And so that led us to Batman and Robin, which is like killed the franchise for a long fucking time. But it begins here, man, with scenes like this. It was a blur. Like she's talking about she didn't know how why she's alive or what. This whole fucking scene is baffling. It's not as bad as the let's get nuts scene from fucking Batman where he's like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. But it's just a scene where you're like, again, we have a rich tapestry of Batman history that we could just liberally be stealing from to put up on the screen. Batman fighting Riddlers across giant typewriters, fucking Joker fish, motherfucking any Catwoman story, any other Penguin story. And instead, we're watching three people, none of them in costume, having a conversation.
Or actually, one person and the other two just slack-jawed staring at her.
For no good reason. No. Like this guy, yes, because he's like, I thought I killed this woman. But why is Bruce Wayne just like, wow, man, you got balls, lady, for an executive assistant and shit like that?
Here's the thing. I kind of want to fuck you. But I can't put it together in my head to do that. So I'm just going to look at you weird.
Why do you think Max Shrek wears gloves inside all the time? Does he have psoriasis or something? Like he's always like they're inside that scene. They're just indoors. They weren't out. It's not like he came from outside and he's wearing gloves. Every time you see Max Shrek, he's wearing gloves.
Well, because he never knows when he's going to push a girl out a window. So he doesn't leave prints.
He's got to always go. He's right there. Look at he's wearing fucking gloves. Every scene and not like, oh, those are driving gloves. Those are just living gloves. He's in costume more than Batman, considering he's got gloves on at least.
And that jacket.
Right here is where I don't know if this is like the beginning of the end. I wouldn't say necessarily that this is where the slide begins. It might be. What minute are we?
48.
This could be the beginning of an irreversible fucking slide that the movie takes and never really recovers from. And I believe it's with the institution. Yeah, it is. Of the spoilers. the mayoral storyline. For some reason, because Shrek can't get his power plant made because the mayor's like, because as you know, a mayor is who would make the decision about whether or not a power plant could be built. Not a senator.
No,
not a governor, not the state, but a fucking mayor. A local politician would have a say as to whether or not they would build a power plant in anywhere near Gotham City. So he can't get the mayor to say yes to this. So instead he's like, well, what if I took the penguin and made him a mayor and then I control the mayor?
Like, this is the one dude. Like, why not his son?
Look how he breaks him down by bringing him a fish and shit like that.
Eat that shit. Eat that fucking shit, man.
First you take the fish, then you take this. He fucking gives it to him. He sucks it down. And he fucking reaches for his fucking pants. And they're like, we've got a Happy Meal attached to this, Tim. He's like, fuck you. This is real.
He's wearing gloves.
This is what a penguin would do. Penguin puts anything in its mouth. Anything. Like, how do you know that, Tim? Wikipedia. They're like, Wikipedia won't be invented for about 4 more years.
Surprise.
Look at this shit, dude. Oh, God. I remember sitting in the movie theater and being like, all right, he's an edgy auteur, so he must know what he's doing. Like, the poster looks cool, I guess. Look kind of Art Deco, but I was happy to see Jan Hooks in the background. I'm like, right on. An SNL alum. Maybe we'll have some fucking Sweeney Sisters action later on.
And like, but I don't understand how Max Shrek thinks this is a good idea. Like, here's what I'm going to give you a fish.
Mayor Monster.
Yes. A, Mayor Monster. B, I'm going to give you a fish, then drag you down, smelling like fish, looking like an egg, and introduce you to
your staff.
Yes.
Who would then have to go sell you to the town. If this guy, I don't care how much you're paying me. If you're like, this is our candidate, I'd be like, please give me Sarah Palin. So I could work with that. But heavens, how am I supposed to do anything with this?
Give me the rent is too damn high guy.
This is also begins a very disturbing trend in this movie. This is not Penguin-like the way listen to me, I'm defending a fictional character, but the way he, ogles and makes dick comments and fucking talks about, like, he says, I'd like to fill a gap or something like that. It's crazy, like innuendo, and it's more Danny DeVito-ish.
I guess.
I would assign it to like things I've heard him say or do in movies, which again, he doesn't write the things he says or does in movies, but it's not, nowhere in the comics did I ever see fucking Oswald Cobblepot portrayed as a poon hound. And that's what they kind of portray him as.
The children of Gotham are pussy crazy. Apparently.
What do you mean?
Because Bruce Wayne can only think about Selina Kyle.
That's true.
Previously, Vicky Vale.
That's true.
And now Oswald is like, I'm above ground again. I'm gonna get me some.
Yeah, he's like, I want to get laid. Hopefully somebody wants to lay me, but if not, whatevs. I mean, I'll pay. Just keep giving me the fish. He bit that fucker's nose right then and there. If you're everyone else in the office, aren't you like, Mr. Shrek, perhaps this is not the candidate that's going to beat the mayor. A mayor, it's not even like, they keep mentioning like, how is the mayor going to be? How can I run for mayor? Because it's not an election year. They're going to do a recall election.
Just
shit like that. Ugh. I mean, nowhere along the way did somebody say, this is probably not the direction to fucking head. Like when you've got one of your main villains sitting around talking about having sex with people, fucking doing this kind of shit where you're talking to yourself and not the person standing right next to you because you're falling in love with the idea. He's like Uncle Fester, dude. Look at him. It's just so not like a Batman comic. I mean, I guess I can't say it's not a Batman movie because this is.
But see, it's also not like a movie. Like, it's not doing what movies need to do, which is, make you sympathize with anybody on screen.
Or entertain you.
Deliver a story that functions as drama or narrative.
It's true. It's like, okay, at this point in the movie, do we know what the plot is?
Not really. And we don't know how Batman is involved in the plot.
And I will also point out that, like, later, he's going to meet Batman in a couple minutes for what I believe is the first time when the Red Triangle Circus Gang attacks again. And then, he talks about, like, I'm surveying the wreckage, blah, blah, blah. he has this fucking moment where he's like, you don't really think you'll win, do you? And it's like, I didn't say anything. Win what? What is this? Why are we competing?
Is there a lottery?
There it was, dude. He literally just said poontang. And for no reason, he turns around and says, burn, baby, burn. It's a trailer moment. That's it. The only reason to have him turn around and go, burn, baby, burn, is just so you can include it in a fucking trailer, because it makes no sense.
We are almost an hour into this movie, and our hero has not met our villain.
Yeah, good point, man.
Like, there is no conflict. There's no friction. There's no nothing. Like, nobody knows each other yet, except the bad guys.
Last time we saw the Batman was around the 40-minute mark. Batman returns at 54 minutes and 36 seconds, dude.
Right.
There he is. Boom. He comes in,
beating up,
slams some fucking heads together. And they fucking, right now, you'll see, like, this is what, watch this. Watch the Bat duck, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's the worst. No, this coming up is the worst move since the Batusi. Watch this shit. It's coming up in a wide shot. I hate this shot. I'm like, here it comes, dude. I'm building it up. It's coming, Mark. It's coming. I swear, I'm coming. Here it comes. The Bat duck, man. He's got a bunch of people. Look at that shit,
and
dude.
He spins.
Batman, who was trained by Ra's al Ghul, fucking trained by the League of Assassins and shit. That was his big move. I'm going to tuck and roll. This move right here, man, this is fucking the Batarang. They stole this Batarang idea and put it in every fucking episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as those fucking drone robots. Oh my God, dude. It's like he watched this right before he fucking made that pilot. He's like, let's pile up. I like that idea.
That'd be great. What if we just name it after dwarves?
And check this shit out. The Dark Knight, the mighty Dark Knight, who beats Superman in the comics, can be beat by a poodle.
Yes.
In the movies.
Absolutely.
And the first of two cinematic comic book heroes to fight a poodle in a movie. Who's the other one?
I am going to say The Mask.
Nope. The Hulk.
That's right.
By what's his
Ang
name?
Lee.
Ang Lee's Hulk, man. He fought a fucking mutated poodle at one point.
A bunch of them.
This scene here, dude, it goes on for about 5 minutes, has no dialogue whatsoever.
Nope.
Does nothing. Just allows her to fucking work her whip. Doesn't do anything for the plot. Some will say, well, yeah, she explodes Shrek. She's violating the department store of the guy who killed her. It's a lot of wasted time.
It's just nothing but just caverns of story.
And I've said it before, man. I'll say it again. It's like, you can go anywhere. They've told so many Batman stories, man. You can rip it off and go anywhere with these fucking things. Include a real best of all the coolest moments of comic book history and make it into one story. But instead, this is a dude who's just like, I'm way more interested in the freaks than I am.
And here's the
Batman.
thing. She's supposed to be a cat burglar. And she doesn't steal anything.
Or do it quietly.
Yeah. Like, I'd buy it if she was like, I will steal all of your shit so I can have money. Then again, you don't need money in Gotham because there's only 12 people and the equitable distribution of goods and services.
Yeah, it's like you can track down the bad guys because there's only fucking 15 people in all of Gotham.
Communist Gotham, everybody gets the same amount of everything.
She loves to turn around and show her ass in this movie. To be like, look at my costume, which is like, if you're going to show it off, I guess. But somehow, man, I never thought I'd say this, but she makes the fucking last Catwoman the best Catwoman, I think.
Yeah.
Now look at this. Here comes the least Batman thing you'll ever see in anything. Batman sticking dynamite in your pants and then punching you in the face.
Yes.
Into the sewer.
And killing you with fire.
Now, that explosion in the sewer, couldn't it have some sort of chain reaction that it makes explosions elsewhere in fucking Gotham? Ignite and perhaps the loss of 5, if not 6 lives in this dense metropolitan city.
The one old man in the hospital could have been taken off life support.
All right, here we go, man. This is where they meet. Finally, what minute are we at?
We are at 58 minutes.
Batman meets the Penguin.
Yeah.
And they've had no interaction prior to this. I mean, again, he looked in at him. At first he was like, oh, fine, he's his parents. And he was like, I hate this fucking mutant prick. And
Research.
Then out of nowhere, like the Penguin has never really had a reason to not like Batman or anything. But all of a sudden he's going like, fucking Batman's like, you're not the mayor. It's like, yeah, the world's greatest detective figured that out. But he goes, here it goes. I appreciate the direct approach from a man in a mask. But he goes, out of nowhere, he goes, you don't really think you'll win, do you? He didn't say anything about winning. Here it is.
Yeah.
Instead of like, he goes, things change. I would have been like, what are you talking about? I didn't say Why are we enemies? Like, maybe I can help you out. We don't know. But then all of a sudden, fucking in the very empty Gotham. Dude, I've been in Manhattan city streets at 4 a.m. There's still more people walking around at 4 a.m. than in all of fucking Gotham City at what's got to be 9 o'clock.
Pretty much.
That explosion, by the way, chain reaction from Batman's dynamite guy that he threw down into the fucking sewers, man. You can't blame Catwoman on that. This was cool. I like this.
It was cool, although this should also be the moment where
he pulls something out of his belt and shoots him.
Yeah, like I could catch you. You're a pretty heavy dude, and I'm Batman.
And you're a criminal, as far based on what I know. But meanwhile, I'm going to go after the Catwoman.
Yes.
Now, this is her. Is this her first appearance? Technically, I mean, she went and helped that woman,
right? And she, skipped around the store.
But this is so bad. First time Batman saw her was just down in the street, and now for no good reason they're just fucking fighting and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, she did just blow up a store. Like that is an act of vandalism.
I would argue Batman blew up that fucking store when he threw dynamite into the sewer system.
Well, no, she did the whole she put the MacGyver thing.
That's true. She was just like, "This is what MacGyver would do."
WWMCG, dude.
This was a big trailer moment. I'm a woman. And then she kicks him in the fucking chest and shit. Once again, Batman from the comics, like he would have like 9 different ways disarmed her and fucking he'd already have her. But Batman in movies is always like, what are you hitting me for?
I can't fight when my dick is hard.
Because I can't turn my head. This is part of that fucking, here it is, dude. She's got him on the ropes. Whip. And why would you fucking burn the one person who's holding you, who could stop you from fucking falling? And by throwing that acid at her, man, technically he almost killed her. But he pulls her up and shit. And what's the first thing you do?
Wasn't he just below her?
Yeah, I don't know how that fucking happened, dude.
Okay.
The fucking science of this movie makes no sense whatsoever.
Continuity is not a thing they do.
Right there you see, of course, the big black eye makeup under his mask, which later on scandalously disappears just as he takes his mask off. Spoilers toward the end of the movie. Here she's looking, I guess, for the chink in the armor.
Are you going to touch it?
Yeah, she's just like, please pull it out. Please. Pull the trigger. Make it come. Pull the trigger. Where is it? Where is it? I never give it to an ordinary kid. Where is it? Touch it. She didn't. And then so because of that, he fucking pitches her off a fucking building and shit. Somehow, of course, she lands in a pile of fucking what looks like cat litter. She even makes the joke about it. This looks like Batman sitting on a shitter. To me, it's like the Thinker. He's sitting there going, Alfred, get me toilet paper.
Did you get your ass kicked again, sir?
By Catwoman, sir. She left her fucking nails inside of him too, man.
Was it another unarmed secretary, sir? Yes.
Look how goofy that is. You're holding the fucking phone to your non-ear on your cowl.
He didn't have a speakerphone. Really? Bruce?
It is just daffy, dude, in 1992 that they didn't just have him fucking talk out loud and be like
87 tiny TV screens around the fucking speakerphone.
Oh, it must be the weekend because Gotham's down to only 6 people. Now, I know all these people in the office are like, hey, we're working for the mayor. We're happy that we're working for the mayor. He's all cleaned up. But does anyone remember that he bit that poor fella in the nose and said he wanted to egregiously fuck Jan Hooks? I'm never going to forget it. This man's a swine. But all these women are just like, oh, Pengy.
We're okay with that, right? That's cool.
I tell you, as a fat man, I never got as much adoration as this fucking fat man gets. Is it because I'm not wearing an outfit like this? I'm wearing fucking hockey jersey and jean shorts. This guy puts on a tux. Suddenly he's got chicks going like, love you, Penguin.
It's like, oh, it's the nose, I think.
Look at young fucking Josh Brolin from Gangster Squad plays a reporter in this movie. Look, again, with the sexual innuendo, dude.
A movie for children.
That feels less like, okay, if your source material, let's say you're like, we didn't fucking bother with the comic books as source material. We just went to the TV show. Burgess Meredith never talked about like, I want to stick my cigar holder in your vagina, my dear, wah, 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 or something like that. But in this movie, He's a little fucking pig.
Hey, Tim, what would be great here is if Penguin was a sexual offender.
Yeah.
Okay,
and also,
Danny.
you take the one fat guy in the movie other than Commissioner Gordon, you make him a little pig. You make him a little sex pig who's always trying to get laid and see boobies and shit like that. So I'm a young fat man going to this movie. Who do I identify with? The other fat guy on the screen. Oh, so badly, dude. That one shot of him when he's in the pajama thing, like when he bit the dude on the fucking nose and shit. Not when he's dressed like this.
I know.
That fucking, yeah, she did look good. The big, fucking like the onesie he was wearing when we shot that man-child pilot for Showtime and shit, the update of the British show. And it was me and the dude from, who was the DJ on Northern Exposure.
Okay.
And Paul Hip and the dude who was in, Rome, one of the dude who played Mark Anthony in Rome. He's in another show now. I think he's in The Following or something like that. A lot of people are like, he's fucking in The Following, you
James
dick.
Purefoy.
Yes, James Purefoy. They had us in the beginning, we're wearing fucking, you can see it, I think it's on YouTube. They had us, wearing wetsuits because we were on surfboards and shit like that. So they don't have sweatsuits or wetsuits rather in my size, just on the rack. Generally people that go surfing don't look like me, have that body shape. So they had to make a fucking wetsuit for me, man. Like the people that make it were just like, we're going to have to order more neoprene. And they went in and made a customized fucking wetsuit. And it was unforgiving, dude. Like I remember I got measured for it. The chick's like, I'm going to pull this really tight because that's what a wetsuit is. There's no give in it. I was like, oh, okay. So they put it in my trailer and they're like, we go to shoot in Santa Monica. I'm like, here's your wetsuit and put it on and we'll all head down. And it was so tight, dude. I couldn't even keep underwear on. That's how fucking tight this thing was. And I put this thing on, zipped up, looked in the mirror, and I looked exactly like Danny DeVito in that giant white onesie, except the thing I was wearing was like fucking gray blue. And right then at that moment, I was just like, I gotta get on a fucking diet. That was 50 pounds ago.
Is that when you smashed the H and the E?
Yeah.
Me on signing your trip.
I punched this thing and after I was done, it said lunch here. I read somewhere that she did this for real.
Get out.
She put a bird in her mouth. Like, I don't know if this is the shot, but when the bird flies out,
It's really in there.
yeah, she said there was no other way to do it at the time. So she put it, so I think this is not the bird. But when she opens her mouth and you see it fly out, that was fucking real.
She Aussied that shit.
Isn't that weird? Like, wouldn't you just be like, look, I know I'm probably getting paid a couple million, but you can't pay me enough to let a bird shit in my mouth. And if you put a terrified bird in my mouth, that's what's going to happen. It's going to shit or pee right all over my fucking tongue.
It's like, all right, I'll do it, but tell me why I'm doing it. What's the story motivation for me doing this?
See, now this cat, right? This is why all of a sudden he's mad at Batman for no good reason. If I'm Batman, I'm like, what did I do to you? You just mad because my parents didn't fucking throw me in a sewer?
Because you said I can't be mayor?
Because you reminded me that I wasn't the mayor yet. You're not the mayor. Well, fuck you. Then I'm going to kill you with the help of this woman. And once again,
why?
Once again, dude, right away, he's just like, this looks like me and my wife in our bedroom, me trying to get laid and her just ignoring me, putting on her beauty products and shit. And I'm like, please, let me have just a little taste of your stuff. You put my parasol between our hands.
Hello, sport. Would you like to go hunting?
All these fuckers do is watch TV. No wonder fucking Batman's barely in the movie.
He's wearing an ascot. They're the most adorable gay couple. Really.
These guys are celebrating the defeat of Doma by trimming their tree and watching TV, and they're like, fuck, this guy's still around.
Should we go to Ibiza, sir?
Do you still wish that he finds his father, his parents, sir? He's like, no, fuck this guy now. I met him the other night. He got real pissy when I told him he wasn't the mayor, Alfred.
He told me I wouldn't win.
He called me a loser. If you tell someone they don't win, Alfred, what is that? Technically, he called you a loser. So, I know, right? Fuck this midget. He's dead. I'm going to find him and burn his house and piss on his ashes. He goes all fucking De Niro and Untouchables at that point, which would have been more interesting than what we're seeing right now.
Absolutely.
Bruce and Selina strolling through Gotham, and Gotham during the day looks like very much like a set. At least Gotham at night, you can get away with some angles and shit. But Gotham during the day, you're like, clearly they're in a building.
Like one giant building.
One huge fucking building. And then right here in this scene, man, Batman proves that just like a fucking independent filmmaker, he hates when the press writes nasty things about him.
Batman blows it.
Yeah,
How
like,
do they know?
I disagree completely. Batman blows it. A lot of people like to cop out. They're like, they're not talking about that Batman.
Like, I didn't see the one reporter in Gotham City. How do they know I blew it?
Yeah, you could hunt that reporter down quick. Stop writing all those stories about me in those 9 papers they published.
Like, come on,
there
Phil.
are 9 fucking newspapers, different newspapers in Gotham. One television station that ever shows up for the fucking news.
Well, there's a different paper for every citizen in Gotham.
Everyone has a special eyes to like, if you were born on this day. How do these newspapers even know that these two were fighting? Nobody was around. They're like, Batman blows it. Me, ouch, and shit like that. She must have phoned in afterwards. She's like, I got a hot tip for you. Because there's no pictures.
Convenient expositional device.
Look at this, dude. The fucking, it's a movie and it's goofy and daffy and shit, but they got a blonde chick sitting there going, the tree goes on and then I press the button. No, wait. Like, I went to see this movie with a blonde and it was already tough to convince her to come see Batman Returns because she's like, isn't that kid stuff? I'm like, no, Batman's like hardcore. And then you go fucking see this movie and they insult like fucking women, even on that very basic level. And they're just like, fuck this. Then this guy pummels her.
Pretty much. With Batman's thing.
With the fucking drone device he stole from Avengers, fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on ABC. And then this is where Bruce and Selina make love inside the fireplace.
just move over, love.
It's so fucking huge. Why they didn't use that fireplace as the entrance to the fucking Batcave is beyond me. It's so fucking massive. You can get away with it.
Well, he's got an Iron Maiden in the other room, so.
Which is very close. When he gets into that Iron Maiden, man, when he's banging his head, he's like, I'm in the Iron Maiden. When he gets in there and he takes the slide into the Batcave, right then and there, you're like, geez, that's awfully close to the Bat Balls.
Yeah.
This is where, like I said, the mayoral candidacy is where things start to fucking go straight downhill, man, where it's just like, oh, this isn't like Batman at all. We still haven't seen fucking Batman, dude. Look, it's Bruce Wayne sitting around talking to Selina.
And every time we've seen Batman, he's gotten his ass kicked.
He's very reactive character. You know what I'm saying? He's not the hero of his own story. Like shit happens, he goes on cleanup. Even here, he's like trying to make some headway with a woman he kind of likes and shit. But in a second, he's got to go. He'll be heading out to fucking do his duty again. And they do this whole like duality, like I've got a split life. And he's talking about Vicky Vale at this point, telling tales out of school about her. He's like, yeah, she was a bitch. You know, she fucked me on the first night we went out and had a drink. That? What a fucking, can you believe that shit? Of course I broke up with her, man.
And of course, the way to close the deal with a new girl is to talk about the last one. Bruce Wayne, master of women.
The poodle dude, that he fought before in the street that walked away with the batarang. That batarang was used to beat the ice princess or whatever fuck they call her.
Yes, the blonde.
In many ways, you could argue that the poodle is Batman's Lex Luthor in this movie. Because the poodle has more of a plan than anybody else, man.
I'm going to steal your weapon and give it to this guy. He'll get your prince. I've decided that the poodle is played by Snoop Dogg.
Snoop
Here's
Lion.
what I do, man.
Snoop Lion, please.
Sorry.
Right into the fucking making out as per usual. Oh, and look, right, she reaches, man. Ever for the fucking reach. But she's like, is your dick up here? He's like, that's my fucking rib cage. Nobody's dick's up there.
But if it was.
He's like, where's your nipple? Is it right here on your arm? She's like, oh no, I don't want you looking at my arm nipple. And look at her fucking horribly burned arm. Look at what his acid did to her.
He's a kind man.
He's a cruel Batman. He goes easy on the fight, but then fucking when it comes to acid, hey man, look.
It's a black guy.
What's he doing here? Must be a holiday in Gotham. Someone came to visit a friend.
Are you the mayor? No, he left?
He's on the news because Commissioner Gordon arrested him because he's like, you don't look very familiar to me. Are you profiling me, Commissioner Gordon? He's like, yeah, but it's not racial. It's just I can profile anybody outside the 18 people who fucking live in Gotham.
I don't know you, buddy.
If you're white, Latino, I don't give a shit. If you're not part of the 18, I'm gonna fucking have a question or two with you.
I'm gonna run you right out of town, buddy.
He's on the news, Commissioner Gordon. He's like, doesn't want to cop to the fact. He's just like, this doesn't prove anything, but a batarang was found where the fucking princess was knocked out and shit like that. He's still pulling for Batman, even though Batman was an absolute prick to him in the beginning of the movie, where he's just like, thank you for saving the city, Batman. And he's just like, give him one of those. Like, whatever.
Well, because Batman is like an errant god. And if Commissioner Gordon doesn't pay homage, he will like reap furious vengeance upon the city. Like, please don't hurt us, Mr. Batman.
And that's what the story is in Batman Returns, because you rarely see Commissioner Gordon. When you see him, he's on the news. He's just like, I haven't seen Batman in like a couple of weeks, but I think he might be thinking this. It's like when people go like, what do you think Ben Affleck's thinking about playing Batman? I'm like, I haven't seen him in 2 years, but if I had to guess, is this kind of shit right here. There's a dude in England, online, one of these like websites, who like has written 2 articles about me talking about Ben Affleck as Batman and going like, Kevin Smith thinks he can fucking say anything he wants about Ben Affleck being Batman. Now that Ben Affleck's been cast as Batman, Kevin Smith won't miss the opportunity to tell us what he thinks. And really, it's like, dickhead, guess who asks me these questions? Like, read the articles you're fucking pulling these quotes from and shit. The only reason I'm talking about it is somebody fucking asks me, man. I mean, yeah, I talked about it on the podcast. But this guy quoted like 2 other articles where people ask me a direct question about like, what do you think about Ben playing Batman? And then this fucking dude's like, he fucking won't stop talking about it. And he admits to not knowing Ben Affleck. And I talked about in one of the pieces, I said, look, if you're going to do Batman, my advice would be for Ben. Like, what's your advice for Ben? I said, don't do the Batman voice. No matter what you do, that like, I said, use a voice modulator gag. Pretend in that Cal is a voice modulator. And then since it's a movie, you could fuck around with sound and you could put it all over the room. I mean, Batman's all about fucking with your head anyway and shit. So you could kind of like make it sound like, not like robotic or something like that, but just fucking sound mix it where it's coming from this channel, left channel, right channel. It's all over the fucking room and shit. And that's how it plays for the person in the scene as well. So I was like, do that. That's new. And then you never have to deal with the whole like, I am Batman. And then this guy was like, this is a rubbish. He's from England. This is a rubbish poppycock fucking idea and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, the dude attacks me for talking about it. But I'm like, dude, it's people like you who don't have enough imagination to ask me one of 5 fucking questions, which lately one of them is, what do you think of fucking a guy that you worked with for like 5 movies or 6 playing a character that you like very much? Naturally, they're going to ask me that question. And since I'm a dude that does interviews and I'm not a guy that's going to sit there and be like, oh, go fuck yourself, I refuse to answer that question. I'll answer the question. And then that gives this fucking dude grist for the mill to be like, he can't stop talking about it. And I was like, cause of you fucking jerk. Anyway, back to this movie. What we've seen transpire in the last few minutes while I was kvetching.
Nothing much.
I mean, that's why I went for it. Because
time to kill.
Even as shit is happening, man. Like, I'll point out this. This is a sequel to a first Batman movie, number 2 in a Batman series, where the blueprints of the Batmobile are made available to somebody else. Somebody else winds up the blueprints of the Batmobile. Happens in this movie. Also happens in The Dark Knight when that fucking one dude is just like, you don't recognize this thing, pancaking cop cars and shit. So there are little lifts like that, fucking all over the fucking place. I mean,
to be fair though, Nolan did not posit that a band of carny folk also have advanced engineering knowledge enough to dismantle and remantle, which is not a word, the Batmobile.
A remantle.
I've remantled your car.
But at least in the other one where the guy finds the blueprints, he's working at Wayne Tech or Wayne
he did
Industries.
Little digging.
Yeah, and he found some shit. These cats, for some reason, just happen to have the blueprints of the one and only Batmobile. Like, what, did he fucking publicly file them? Batman to get a patent? He's like, I don't want anyone copying my shit.
I want my money.
Once again, Batman incredibly ineffective. He can't fucking stop Catwoman from taking the fucking Ice Princess on the road.
She kicked his ass twice.
If you're going to put a secret device in a car, would you really make it that fucking big and findable?
But it's so pretty.
It's like, it's a genius in its design, almost iPod-like in its beauty. But fuck, man, like, we want it to be a little bit secret.
It's
Batman spends a lot of his time just walking up and down ladders in this picture, man. And this sequence right here, The real Batman would whip a fucking batarang and a rope around her, and he would have saved her in 2 beats. But old Penguin lawn darts it, and fucking suddenly these bats fucking scare her off the fucking ledge. And it's weird. They do flat out kill this character. I mean, I know like the Penguin's supposed to be. And you see Batman like how slow he was. Like, no.
Wait, what?
He lumbers up there like the fucking Tin Man or something like that. She does turn on the tree, which I guess is a wicked sense of humor. Bats come flying out of the tree, and right away, all of Gotham's 18 gentry are just like, it must be Batman. Enough that the cops fucking shoot him with no proof of anything. He didn't pull a gun or anything like that. They shoot him. He falls off a fucking roof, and we know that the bullets won't hurt him because we saw in the last movie that that's body armor. Although later on in the movie, he tears his fucking mask off like it's made of cheese.
It's okay. I got
provolone or something like that.
Nice provolone.
This is one of the dopiest little dialogue sections in the movie, and also gives us this weird little rhyme that I think was created for this because I've never heard it anyplace else, where it's like, a kiss could be
deadly if you mean it.
Oh,
no, mistletoe
deadly if you eat it, but a kiss could be deadlier if you mean it.
Which is just as stupid as don't dance with the devil in the pale moonlight.
Yes.
Like, we have to come up with a bullshit coinage to be a thing that we call back to later to reveal a thing that nobody gives a shit about.
Look at him. He just licked her spit off his lips. He was like, I like it. It's like spit in my mouth. I'm into the weird shit. There's a nice moment here that I've always liked where she comes off of him and she goes, maybe you should retire. It was a nice delivery, but then boom, she gut punches him again with her fucking claws. Well, she went for his throat that time. Look at this shit, man. He just throws her off, pulls the fucking yet another claw out of his armor. And then what does Batman do? Rather than, I'm taking you in for bringing you to justice, Batman's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I'm good.
Loses his cape, turns into wings, as we've seen happen in Batman Begins. I think he did it as well in The Dark Knight at one point. Yeah. And if you really want to fucking show the citizens of Gotham that you had nothing to do with killing that ice princess, what you want to do is soar menacingly over their heads while a swarm of bats are fucking flying around. That's a way to make people think that you didn't do it. Anybody can control the Batmobile, kids.
Yeah. I mean, it's a thing you get from Radio Shack. I mean, it's just a little beep, beep. It's mine now.
And those bats, boy, they just ain't going anywhere. I mean, they're still stuck down there. This guy's somehow got a bottle of champagne. And believe me, that ain't even fucking worst of my worries or concerns in this movie. But you know how hard it is to walk on the ledge of a building, high winds, let alone carrying around a bucket full of iced champagne.
When you're a man that broad who would catch the wind.
You ain't kidding, man.
He's not aerodynamic, that fella.
He's classy, though. He ain't assy. He's totally classy. Batmobile sabotage is just another in the long downward slide that fucking Batman Returns takes at a certain point, man.
And Bruce Wayne has been up close to this girl more than once. And how he can't tell that he kissed her twice. How he doesn't know that that's the same person.
Yeah, never. He's the world's greatest detective.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, they never say that in the movies and shit. They're like, that's your world. The fucking comic books, which are stupid. In our world, he's just a guy.
He's a rich guy who buys shit.
Well, that's their thing, right? Like, I think the philosophy, this is fucking weird. Never break up with a fat guy. He'll hang you from a fucking, it's such bad press for us fat guys. If you're a thin woman seeing this movie, you walk out going like, I'm going to trust that fat boy.
Nope.
If I break his heart, he'll fucking hang me like this fucking cat lady. This is a movie that isn't very concerned with where it's going, I don't think.
No, or how it got there.
Yeah, you never really get the feeling of like we're driving toward a conclusion. It just kind of meanders for a couple days in Gotham. Almost like that's why it's weird. It is a movie. It's very much a mainstream movie, but it struggles so very hard to be a film as well. And I don't think it can have it both ways. But, again, I wasn't bitching at the time, although I bitched about this. Holy shit.
Watching this one.
Well, it's bad enough that the Penguin gets into a Winnebago and everybody's there and they're going to see him in it shaking and shit. But this dude, they couldn't just give him a remote control. They built him a little Batmobile fucking outside the grocery store.
A Bat-O-Ride.
Oh my God. And look at how fickle the people of Gotham are. Like, there he is. Get the Batman. He killed the Ice Princess. None of them know her name. They don't give a fuck.
He killed a blonde lady.
At least the tree finally turned on. Batman very depressed to find out he can't watch his butler porn because it's been interrupted by goblin porn instead. Look at this shit. Bang, bang, bang. Running over cops and whatnot. That's a face you never want to see Batman making. Yeah, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, the one guy who's always got to know what's going on. Enough to know that just rubbing a glass gauge isn't going to save your fucking life is Batman. But yet they portray him as just like baffled in his own fucking car. Oh, it makes me sick, Mark. This sequence, I submit to you, is as ludicrous or Joel Schumacher-y as anything in the next two Batman movies.
I mean, I do have vast problems with the motorcycle chase in Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
With the Batman jumping off of one of these German expressionistic statues to land someplace else and stop ice from happening. But it's at least those, there was a sense of purpose to them. Misbegotten and ill-conceived they may be. There was a reason why that was happening. This is just what?
Yeah. What is he trying to do with this whole, he's just defaming Batman by making him a bad driver?
Already framed him for the murder of Blondie McBlonderson. And so, like, why does he now have to be a terror behind the wheel?
And again, like, we've waited at this point 3 years for a Batman sequel. And when this is one of your set pieces, you're like, come fucking on, man. Are you fucking serious? Like, he's driving Batman's fucking car in a little version of Batman's car. And now the cops are chasing him for what? Like, clearly this dude's in a fucking tizzy, or I guess they're like, he's killing people. Batman really has gone bad. He's gone so evil, he's driving poorly.
Right.
Finally, the Bat computer builds a cartoon that shows him if you just punch through the floor
it's all good.
Of your armored vehicle.
Yes.
Which he does. Bang. Reach around. You'll feel something that doesn't belong there.
You know, the giant ball.
Feels like giant Benoit ball. Grab that. And then, of course, we won't let the old lady be hit. I would submit to you this would be a far more memorable scene if he just plowed that old woman down.
I mean, but again, he also plowed over like a dozen people on his way to this old lady.
Yeah, but this lady, it was important not to hit her.
Yeah, don't hurt. She's got a little carriage full of cans.
Oh, I hate this shot right there, man. That shot of him like fucking, this is what I look like fucking. If you want to know what I look like, it's that. And then I'm like, that's how I come. I'm like, got green shit in my teeth and whatnot. They got a lot of buildings like this in the world.
Sure. You know.
And thank God you modify your car for just such an occasion.
I mean, but I bought the Bat Pod in a way I don't buy this. Clearly, the Bat Pod was a last resort. This is just a thing you do if you've got to get into an alley.
The Bat Missile, but it's so weird. This is that. Yeah. Like, this is, like, I remember seeing the Nolan movies and being like, they're so fucking startlingly original. But there's a lot of shit that's actually just kind of like reiterations.
Yeah. I mean, it's the take what works and then leave the rest.
Or like, let me do a better version of that or something like that. Because they didn't really utilize much with this Bat Missile. This is the last time you see it. And the car doesn't grow back to its other size or something like that. And you don't see him touring around town. Yeah, that's it. Next time you see him, he's in the Bat ski boat. Which I would actually, it sounds really dumb when you say it out loud, but did contain one of my favorite moments in Batman movie history. We'll get to it, is in that Bat ski boat. Okay. So in the midst of all this, the Penguin, mayoral candidate Penguin, is mad that Batman's still alive. Like, that was his big complaint. He got away.
Well, because was he supposed to catch Batman to seal his mayoral run? Was that the deal?
Was that even part of it?
I mean, I don't know. It's unclear.
That to me sounds like you should have done a draft of the script, because that would have made sense. Like, if I'm going to be an upstart fucking, mayor that is running during a re-election campaign, not a re-election campaign, a recount campaign.
Yes.
I better do something fucking huge, and bringing in public enemy number one, an outlaw, to justice would be, that's smart, dude.
That's a
nobody fucking thought to include that. Instead, they did this once again. More TV watching. This is like the fucking Odd Couple. These two just sit around fucking their house all day. The Odd Couple didn't watch as much TV as these two, man.
Should you go be a detective, sir?
This is where he busts his fucking balls. This is the fucking one scene where those of us who are hardcore comics fans were like, woo, in the theater because he's giving him shit about letting Vicky Vale into the Batcave. He's like, then we had to fucking kill her, Alfred. And I loved her, but I had to kill her because she knew too much because of you. Here it is, man. The Iron Maiden that he slips inside is so close to the fucking bat poles. Why not just give the nod and let it have been bat poles?
But why does he put the jacket on? He's going into the Batcave to get into the bat suit, but he suits up to get into the fucking Iron Maiden to, like, what?
Oh, he's not becoming Batman.
Oh, he's just going to be like Detective Boy down here?
No. Do you remember? This is the most important sequence in the movie, dude. This is where...
Oh, that's right.
We should call it the Smucker sequence because this is where fucking, or the hip hop sequence because this is where fucking Alfred becomes the jam master.
Where he invents rap music.
The rest of the movie is spent jamming things. And as an audience member, you felt you were jammed. Something was jammed straight up your ass. And unfortunately not good enough movie. Suddenly high tech takes an appearance in the movie. Now again, it's 1992, kids. We didn't all have fucking laptops. We didn't even have fucking desktop computers.
There's no email for most of us at this point.
There's no fucking internet. There's no, Wikipedia. There's no iPod. There's fucking nothing. So you're seeing this. You just might as well be War Games, that fucking computer you're seeing right there.
Look what I got.
And for, nowadays, most people, even your mom would have a general idea.
Bullshit,
doesn't work. None of this shit, because we were unfamiliar in 92, we're like, I guess that's how it works. Sure. I guess you would make a little bat symbol for your fucking CD-ROM.
Yeah, because you don't want to tip anybody off in Mexico who's making shitty CD players.
This is the jamming sequence, man. They turn his mics off and then play back the shit that Penguin was saying while he was driving Batman's car. Now, if you go back and listen to his performance in those takes, which was over the top, and listen to his performance in these audio takes, clearly he reperformed the lines. And this is a minor fucking quibble at this point. There it is, dude. As a black man, you must make a statement on the mixing and scratching abilities of Bruce Wayne.
It is the continual appropriation of my culture's gifts to pop culture.
This was the beginning of the end right here, because a few years later, Eminem.
Yep.
First they show one white guy going wiki wiki.
There's a direct line between Bruce Wayne doing that and Miley Cyrus.
He is the Miley Cyrus of his day.
He is twerking the shit.
In 92, that was twerking. Just going, now, if somebody starts throwing this much fruit and vegetables at you, wouldn't you just fucking book? Or wouldn't you just be like, I have a machine gun in this umbrella, so I'm just gonna do it now, not like fucking wait.
And also, shouldn't he have known, given that everybody showed up with fruits and vegetables? I mean.
Yeah, they're holding them behind their backs. He's been abandoned by all his allies. Shrek is gone. The other people have all stepped away. That's actually kind of a badass thing. Open fire. Open fire to the crowd like that. Doesn't hit anybody. No, and then leaps off and fucking suddenly it's like Humpty Dumpty attack. I'm telling you, dude, this is like me trying to go running through the woods. Same kind of stride. The Gotham police will shoot at anything, even if there are fucking people walking through the park. They're like, freeze, shoot it. Ironically, the Penguin, of course, diving straight back into the same waters that his parents dumped him in.
The circle of life.
Thank God we were like almost 3/4 of the way done with this movie. Like, I'm sorry to say, it's a tough fucking sit.
But dude, there's another half an hour.
I know. Oh God, dude. That would have been it. I would have taken that. I would have been unhappy. Like, well, I guess they didn't really go out with a bang. But considering what's coming, they could have ended the movie there.
Yeah, could have been done. Just everybody go home.
Except there is one very cool moment in the bat ski boat coming up. But what I tell you, they're getting their money's worth with this fucking duck. He's in like every shot. He is the Monarch Theater of Batman Returns.
You built the fucking duck. Use the fucking duck.
You know who I think that fucking old woman was that he didn't hit with the car? Aunt Harriet. That's what I tell myself. Yes.
All right.
And there's a weird fucking like crossing of the lines where he looks at her and shit. And
you're like, yeah.
And it's like, well, if only Aunt Harriet knew that me and Dick were going out first. I can't do it. That was as close as I got to Adam West. I felt like I was cheating on fucking Ralph. There's the fat clown I could be.
Fat clown.
If they make this movie and shit, although he's much taller than I am.
Vincent Schiavelli.
Yes, the great Vincent Schiavelli. Amongst his men, he was one of the, aside from, you see him in a zillion things, but he was in, Buckaroo Banzai. He was one of the Red Electroids, but he was also in, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where he's like, forgive me, I've switched to Sanka. He was the teacher that they go on the hike with at the end of the movie. He's been in a ton of fucking movies.
Why is his saliva black?
Excellent question. And also, this is where he reveals his dark plan, which we haven't known the whole movie, in which he intends to kill all the firstborn of Gotham. A Moses-like fucking crime, considering he was thrown away like Moses. Somebody raises a voice of just like, hey man, killing babies, isn't that fucked up? I mean, isn't there a Happy Meal attached to this movie?
And he shoots him in the face. Fuck your couch.
Once again, dude, you've spent your day, hard ass day, busting crime by not leaving the back cave and fucking mixing and scratching on the wheels of steel with your old ass white butler. How do you want to spend the rest of the day? Not making sure that the Penguin is taken care of. He opened fire with a machine gun on a crowd, and there's fucking Batman sitting here working on his car. He's like, hey, I did my part.
What do you want from me?
I had the CD, remember? I
jammed shit.
Me and Alf, we were jamming. We be jamming. We be jamming. Hey now, right? Everybody? Leave me alone. I just want to hang out here and fix the car.
The great Karnak.
This is, great Karnak could have fucking predicted that this movie would be a steep drop, I would say, from the first one.
But that still made money.
Yeah, it did, but not as much.
Not as much.
They got real worried about that. That was when, sequels didn't make as much as the first movie. Now they tend to outgross in a lot of cases. Can you believe somebody was paid to write the line yawn? They gave that line to fucking one of the greatest actors on the planet. They were like, just say yawn. And he goes, yawn, and walks away. Kind of describes a lot of the action going on in Batman Returns.
I mean, I will say though, this is the one redeeming scene in this movie.
Out of a different movie almost altogether.
Yeah, absolutely. Like out of the interesting version of this movie, the two people who are at odds, antagonist, protagonist,
and always in masks.
Always in masks. They show up at a costume party outside of masks.
And they dance together. They don't fight. Together. They're intimate to some degree.
Their real people are the masks, that they are Batman and Catwoman, and that Bruce Wayne is the disguise.
Now, you just said something insanely interesting, and I'm sure that somewhere in the back of somebody's mind's making this movie, that had to be on their mind. But why not fucking say it? Why not give a few lines about for the dumb people out there, or even for the people who just love fucking Batman, have them talk about this is weird.
Odd.
But they kind of do at one point when they finally Batman, the world's greatest detective. It takes her busting that same fucking rhyme from up on the roof for him to be like, there's only 18 people in Gotham. And I've only ever heard one person say that mistletoe thing.
It takes him completing it to remember.
It's true.
He's that slow on the take.
The dork knight. He's like,
I said that too once.
Wait a second here now.
But these are two characters actually interacting in an interesting way.
I'm telling you, this scene is from a completely different movie right here until the fucking Penguin shows up.
Right, which is its own thing.
And if all of the tone of the entire movie had been this, you'd probably have a pretty interesting flick. But again, early 90s, and they're like, we're trying to sell fucking toys and shit like that.
Badly.
See, now, very badly. But now, look at her, she dropped down and shit. Oh, she pulls out a fucking gun. Right there in the party and shit. Pull a gun, put it in the face of a boy whose parents were killed by a fucking gun.
She's insensitive.
That's true.
I mean, but at least
look at her. Look in her eyes. There's hell here.
Damn it, Bruce, look at me. But there's emotional content here.
Yeah.
And I buy it. And I buy for the first time what her motivation is. I understand his dilemma, and all of that plays for these 3 minutes.
And she's not acting arch and fucking meow and drinking milk and shit.
She's a tortured person. Right now, she's got a quantum of solace with Bruce Wayne.
Nice. Well done. Well done.
And then it all goes to shit.
If only she hadn't seen this mistletoe, he never would have known it was her.
I know.
Until they were in bed together, and he was like, oh my God, you have an acid burn on your arm. What kind of asshole would throw acid at a woman?
Right.
There it is. The backup, like, what the fuck?
Tears in her eyes, but then they've got to keep dancing.
It's a nice moment. It is nice.
Conceal the moment and like play it off. Like, there's a movie.
Yeah.
Almost happening.
And just when things are like, all right, let's pursue this, because clearly we must be done with the Penguin. He won't be mayor. That's the end of his storyline. But
the Penguin we don't care about, but I want to see that duck thing again.
When I was writing for the Superman movie, I had an opening scene at some museum soiree, and the Legion of Doom shows up, and it was like 3 villains and shit. And one of them was Black Manta. So I turn in the script of everything in that script. The first note I get back is like, please change the opening scene. Those party scenes are so expensive. And I'm like, we have a scene where Superman moves a mountain in this fucking movie, man. They shut off the sun, like in The Simpsons. Like, fucking, you don't want to do some black ties and dresses? That seems like the cheapest part of this fucking bitch. There it is, man. Getting their money's worth. The fucking duck is back. Once again, has nothing to do with penguins.
No.
More to do with, like, it would be if Ernie and Bert were the villain. Like, Robert Ducky, you're the one.
I mean, even like if he was, maybe the cradle robber is the way we're going. So like the infantile toy as his motif.
It's a stretch.
Whatever.
Look at Bruce Wayne. Unlike in the last Batman movie where he just kind of stumbled forward to fight the Joker in public, not dressed like Batman. Clearly, he goes off to get dressed and fucking gear up for war.
And the Penguin gives up on pants. Like, yeah, fuck it.
He's wearing that onesie, dude. I'm telling you, that's what I fucking look like when I went, except with that coat. Although they put a coat on me when I got out of the water, so I did kind of look like that. I'm sure if we had Instagram back then, you would have seen lots of pictures of a fucking penguin looking Fat Kev Smith.
But see, now, if the Penguin's whole plan at this point now is to get rid of the firstborns.
Yes.
He abandons it immediately.
Just to take Shrek with him.
Yeah, just like, fuck it. You can keep, Blondie McArian here.
Blondie McArian. He's like, if only he had killed that boy, he would not have gone on to create the Fifth Reich. From Warner Brothers. The spin-off of Batman Returns nobody wanted. It's a Fifth Reich.
One Reich too far.
Dad, I will rise a Reich in your name. That guy who played Shrek's kid in Batman Returns
you
is
won't
back.
have died in vain
Nice.
because I'm here for you, Dad.
That's the scene that he has with the ghost of his father. Dad, what now that I've raised a Fifth Reich, what should I do?
You should kill Bruce Wayne. A little bit.
Goes into a monologue about Sicily and shit like that, and suddenly people are like, this movie has a Happy Meal attached to it, people!
I stuck a penguin up my ass.
This guy's in a fucking cage. This guy's got a bunch of fucking umbrellas that you're hoping any one of them is going to do something more interesting than this as he reveals his fucking plan. Now, this is the plan he's been working on the whole movie. Remember when you were like, what is he trying to figure out his parents? No, he wants to find out all the firstborn because he's going to send one train. Like, wait till you see how fucking big this train is. To capture all the firstborn children of Gotham. And it proves beyond the shadow of a doubt that only 18 people live in the city. Because if they thought this train was going to be enough to capture all, look at that train, dude. That's going to capture all of Gotham's firstborn children.
I mean, they're small. Children are. You could pack them deep in there.
Some of them are adult children like Max Shrek's kid. They were going to put him in this little fucking train. He would have been like, Dad, I'm sitting here with a 4-year-old. This is a cool moment right here though. You show me the fucking shadow of the bat. You got me. And then pulls him right out. You don't even have to see him beating ass and shit like that.
And then the day is saved.
But that's it.
That's all you get.
We spend hours, it feels like, hearing the monologues of characters you don't give a fuck about. But then they're like, hey, Batman's here. And you're like, thank fucking God. And they show you his gloves and his shadow. And then he sends a note. And I find this very irresponsible. Penguins walking around with, they haven't gone out there with their missiles yet, but this guy's trying to fucking capture all the firstborn children. Batman takes the time to write him a fucking note.
He's got monogram stationery
in his utility belt.
Yeah. Just like I went to Kinko's and I had him make up some stationery for me.
Let me tell you, in the winter, periodically, I've had to write my name on something while wearing winter gear. You can't write that well in gloves.
No.
That's where this movie falls apart.
Handwriting.
One of the hoariest cliches in all of cinema, up to about, I guess, this point in mid 90s movie history, was the Patton speech.
Yes.
And you've seen it in many movies before, and here it is. And his Patton speech is being delivered to a bunch of fucking penguins with the dumbest fucking speech ever given. And I wrote down one of the fucking lines because holy
give it to me.
Christ. He says, and I quote, "Hell, the sexes are equal with their erogenous zones blown sky high." Worst line ever. Dude, that dude is talking about blowing up baby dicks and baby vaginas. This movie had a Happy Meal attached to it. Who fucking says that in a fucking kid's movie? He's like, I'm going to blow all their little dicks off. And he's telling these penguins, they're like, we don't even understand what you mean. And we know you're a grizzly.
Like, we're penguins. What part of us being penguins did you miss?
People were upset about this. You remember when the movie came out?
Yeah.
People got really tight about, I guess it was Peter or something, about them having fake missiles strapped to their backs, because they made all little outfits for them, not just the missiles to strap to their back, but the little headgear and shit like that. And they were, animal advocates were like, they don't fucking get what's going on. I was like, join the club. I've been watching the movie for nearly 2 hours. I don't know what's going on either.
I've been hurt more than these penguins.
Yeah, at least they got paid. I had to pay to get this confused. Once again, Alfred, with a name like Alfred, it's got to be good because he's making jams left and right.
Jam Master A.
He's fucking Smuckers, a modern day Smuckers. All he does at a certain point in this movie is start making jams for the Batman. This bat ski boat sequence. If you're Batman, of course you have one standing by just in case.
Yeah, I mean,
wintertime and you got to go down in the sewers.
When you've got that much money, you just build one of everything just in case.
Where would that ski boat be used if not in a sewer? Like on top of the water? Was it meant to be a skiff of some sort?
Some kind of hovercrafty thing?
Now, I will allow that this is a fucking cool ass idea. A bunch of penguins with missiles on their backs and shit like that. On paper, it should all fucking work, man. But, here it is, dude. This is one of my favorite parts in Batman movie history. 2 penguins launch missiles at this fucker. He fucking spins to avoid it. And then they watch him go like, fuck, we missed the Batman. Watch this little look back he gives right there. That was my favorite moment in the Batman movie because it was just him acknowledging this is a fucked up life. Like I was almost killed by 2 penguins with missiles on their backs.
But let's be clear.
Thank God Alfred was jamming something.
We are now expected to believe that an army of penguins with missiles is a credible threat to Gotham City.
Yes.
Yeah. And like, just
dude, this lady in this little ice house up here, she's narrating the attack. She literally says, guess estimation of casualties, 100,000 dead. Dude, that's more than fucking is a lot of people for a town that's only got 18 people in it altogether. So they're going to kill everybody.
And they're going to ship more in to die.
Yeah, they're like people visiting for the summer. Look they show you all the fucking penguins. They're all concentrated around one block. And somehow that's going to kill 100,000 fucking people.
Right.
The empty streets of Gotham. But of course, Batman, who's been in a boat for the last 20 minutes.
It's a long ride.
He's able to give him the coordinates. He's like, I've got the coordinates. They throw out some words at you and shit. He's like, I'm turning him around. We're jamming the frequency, which is again, 1992, not a lot of people had computers and shit, but that's what you thought. In the future, we'll all just be sitting around on our laptops, jamming frequencies, turning penguins around.
Dude, let's go to the zoo. Let's jam some penguins.
They never really fight the penguin. They just fuck with the penguin. The whole movie. It's like they fucking turn his penguins around on him. They fucking
punches the penguin in
turn
the face.
His microphones off. They fucking play recordings of him. Batman's like a bad ex-boyfriend who's putting all their selfies up online afterwards. It's like, I'm just going to fuck with the penguin's life, man. All the penguins turn around. They're all armed and shit like that. But all these missiles going through the street.
I have to wonder what the entire first unit thought when they're shooting penguins walking through the streets. This
You know that wasn't a first unit job. You know that was second unit.
But as important as all this shit is,
maybe it was.
I mean,
maybe Tim Burton had to be there for some of the penguin shooting because it was his fucking baby, right?
Yeah,
they're like, you better show up for this.
But there's a full 4 minutes of penguins walking on streets in this movie.
Come and think of it, dude. I bet you he was probably more interested in shooting that than he was any of the Batman stuff. He's like, oh my God, penguins with little missiles on their back?
Get out.
This fucking clown, he watched his friend get killed. I would have left a long time ago. Moment Penguin turned his back, I would have been like, fuck it, man. They killed Tubby. Like, and Tubby raised a valid point. Who wants to kill children? Now the dude quits.
Right.
He's like, I hear the bat boat coming. Now these fuckers start spinning
Flipping
off. And you look in three directions. You could see everybody leaving you at once. But hey, you got your faithful fucking duck. Don't worry about it.
It's all good, buddy.
It's like, thank God we spent all the money on this duck because it's going to make a lot of fucking screen time. And it does so many things. Floats, fucking drives. It's amphibious.
Now, even more weird than Batman being absent from the scene, Catwoman hasn't been seen for a good, 20 minutes.
Why the fuck? He didn't even need this boat, dude. Like, he didn't do anything with it except almost get shot by missiles. Mm-hmm. And now this is where it comes into play. He fucking intercepts the fucking Penguin with his bat ski boat and breaks his fucking duck and shit. Thank God.
Yes. He drops a boat on the Penguin's duck.
And that doesn't take skill. That wasn't like, oh, the fucking brilliance of the Dark Knight detective foiled the fucking Penguin. He's like, look, he shot.
For the amount of time it took me to walked over there.
I could have gone left or right. I went left and I somehow defeated the Penguin.
Luckily for me.
This is batastic. Finally, a fucking altercation, a fight. And it's like fucking useless. Like you see the whole time, this Penguin guy, he ain't got the drop on fucking Batman. It's so weird. The action sequences compared to like what counts for an action sequence nowadays in a comic book movie, they're so limited and lame. Batman does a lot of standing around and posing and just holding up things menacingly and shit like that. This is a movie set at Christmas time.
Yeah.
They didn't do that again until Iron Man 3 set a superhero movie at Christmas time. There's a nice touch to it.
Oh, God.
This device Batman's holding brought all the penguins back, I guess, to Arctic World. So if you're Batman, aren't you like, I won't press this button because all these missiles might be aimed at this very place? This was never clear. Was this Batman's plan?
Batman doesn't plan. The Dark Knight doesn't think a step ahead.
He's like, are you kidding me? I took the left tunnel. I could have gone right. I would have missed this fucker altogether. But bat luck, motherfuckers. And so he grabs the thing, launches it. But I don't know if that thing that he presses launches those missiles or launches these bats to come out of his fucking...
No, the missiles are off.
But so the bats just waited till that moment to like come out and swarm around the guy?
Clearly. I mean, that was also part of his master plan.
He can't turn his head, so he has to turn his whole body to watch this shit. You know, that's what they used to have to do in Batman movies. Have to turn his whole body, but then they put that helmet on him in Dark Knight and suddenly he can just turn his head and shit.
Oh, hey, look at me. So now Max Shrek is just, in this cage.
Dude, you're right. Catwoman hasn't been in the movie in a while, but Max Shrek is almost in every fucking scene. Almost
standing around in a cage.
In the background, just always fucking like, I can't believe I'm still being paid.
I'm like a rat in a gilded cage.
That's the cleanest sewer in the world. I'd go swimming in that sewer. My pool don't even look like good. That could have been me, dude.
Yep.
Fat clown underwater. I can hold my breath. Are you kidding me? I could have ate out on that for years. I'd be like, yeah, I was in Batman Returns.
Hey, look at that. I mean, that guy.
I'm the dude underwater. I'm the fat guy. They're like, what, the penguin? I'm like the other fat guy. I got shot by the fat guy.
There's Catwoman.
Sounds like bear porn. Yeah, finally, Catwoman returns, man.
He still hasn't figured this out.
He still didn't get that it's Selina Kyle. He offers her a very big ball of string. Dude, we're in the fucking final moments of Batman Returns. Again, we haven't seen a Batman movie at this point since 1989. We were so anxious to see it. Here we are in 1992. And fucking, as we're in the closure, like, all right, he's using a grappling hook. Finally, there's some bad action going on. In the closure, somebody's still making cat jokes, dude, about like a big ball of string.
And these missiles are still going off.
Batman just swings around. He doesn't really fucking, this is my favorite moment. The most Batman moment in the whole movie. Ready? He goes, shut up, you're going to jail. That's Batman. That is the only Batman moment I would argue in this whole fucking movie is when he goes, shut up, you're going to jail. That's fucking Batman. Everything else is just like a guy who puts on a suit.
Yes. And blows up.
Quite
clowns.
sure of himself. Yeah. And it really does more damage than good when you think about it. This weird standoff scene, of course. Look at Batman's eyes. If you look at Michael Keaton's eyes, under the cowl, you'll see, of course, they have to put dark eye makeup under there.
Yeah, they got to sell it.
Otherwise, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. And you're going to see it in a minute because they did this weird cheat where instead of just letting him take his mask off and having these two big raccoon circles around his eyes, they remove the fucking paint altogether. You'll see. So there it is. There's black right through his eyes. Got it surrounding his eyes, the grease paint. And then when they come back, it may not be the next shot. It's when he goes for the mask. There it is.
Whoa.
It's gone. Look how glaring it is, dude. They needed to get in tight quicker for him to rip it off. Meanwhile, that is a bulletproof cowl that he just shredded like so much fucking ricotta cheese. Like he just peels that shit off.
But why does he take it off? She knows who he is. He's
Yeah.
not proving anything to her right now.
He's like, what I'm proving to you is my mask is made of fruit roll-ups. That's
My
how
mask
fucking
is delicious.
easy I can tear this shit apart, man. We're coming in for a landing on this shit. This is weird too, where she's just like, no, I'm not going to be your fucking girlfriend. But watch, like, Max Shrek out of nowhere decides to kill Batman.
Just cause.
He fires her. But watch this shit. He's like, Bruce Wayne, why are you dressed like Batman? But then he fucking she goes, he is Batman. He goes, I don't care. And he fucking shoots. Was Batman. Why would you fucking kill Bruce Wayne / Batman? What do you have to gain at that point?
Not a goddamn.
Was he your enemy this whole time? It's
Well,
not
he
like
didn't want to let him build a power plant, remember?
yeah, but like, oh my God, all of it was, none of this fucking makes sense. And then she takes 4 bullets.
Yes, because she's some supernatural cat person.
Because we don't know. She goes, 4 or 5, still alive. And he fucking shoots her 2 more times, man. And somehow she still gets up. And again, I've said it before, kids, I'll say it till the day I die. There was a Happy Meal attached to this movie. Can you think of any Happy Meals where one of the main characters gets shot in the fucking gut
8 times?
Oh my Lord. And then in terms of like picking a way to go out, because of course they always kill these villains. In the comics, Batman fights his villains over and over and over
Puts him
again.
in jail.
In the movies though, every one of them fucking dies. I mean, it's questionable here, but boom. Why would you do that? You hate this man so much. Why go with the kiss? If you're pulling on that wire,
And how
isn't
is
that
a
enough?
thing that works?
Why? And wouldn't he just be electrocuted by connection to you? And once again, Batman, the most reactive character in the movie,
Yeah.
not active, not proactive, but just like shit's blowing up. She's on fire. That's falling down, and cowering. Look at him. He's just standing in one place with his cape over his head.
It's like Batman gets distracted by shiny objects.
It's like Batman trick-or-treating. He's like, I got a rock.
Oh, man, apples.
And just when you thought, maybe we're getting out of here. Oh, God. Like Jason Voorhees, the fucking penguin rises, probably on that duck again. But no. What a waste of a moment this is. This whole thing, you're like, okay, they've saved him. He's bleeding green out of his mouth.
Because that happens.
Something, yeah, whatever that means. Clearly, they're going to do something big, man. This is a big face-off moment. He's seeing fucking Bruce Wayne without the Batman mask. Something he's going to fucking fight one more. What's going to happen? And it's, by the time you get to what they're getting to, Max Shrek is dead.
Oh, God.
Killed the same way as the opponent of the Joker.
Yes.
Shocked with the hand thing. So you're like, okay, this is leading to something right here. I mean, clearly they're going to fucking do something cool
Machine gun
here.
umbrella. It's all going to come
He's going to shoot him in the back, and Batman hears things too late, and he grabbed the wrong fucking umbrella, dude.
Dick.
And he says it too. Now he's got enough time to grab the other umbrella, but instead he'll, the green blooded choking me. What is that shit coming out of his mouth? He's got red blood on his face, but he's got black green goo coming out of his mouth.
I don't know.
And this he does this weird thing every once in a while, Danny DeVito, where he crosses his eyes. It's very strange. But for some reason, like, I just want to have cold water, and then fucking dies like Gunga Din. This is where Morgan Freeman starts narrating about the fucking March of the Penguins. I mean, look, Stan Winston's a genius. Those T-Rexes look amazing in Jurassic Park, but dude,
midgets.
I mean, come on, like wearing little tuxedos, like furry little tuxedos. Like, I don't buy that as a penguin at all.
Let me tell you about my friend Andy Dufresne.
Oswald Cobblepot crawled through a river of shit. Apparently penguins, they don't do this. I don't know if they march their dead, but if they have a sick penguin or one that's like dying, most animals leave a sick or dying animal behind. Penguins will group together and carry that penguin to, on with them on the journey. Isn't that fucking sweet or weird?
That's kind of awesome.
I wonder if that was in the back of somebody's mind when they did this. I mean, all this is grisly.
Lots of things were in the back of people's minds.
Yeah, nothing in the forefront. Oh, good Lord.
Tickling on the back of my head like a good movie.
And again, dude, we just spent more time watching the penguin die than we watched, Batman do anything in that third act for long periods of time. And the movie, just as it did the first time, fucking ends in the back of a car, man. It's crazy how fast the city of Gotham turned on that penguin. First, they were all for him.
Yeah.
Then
but see, they never were, because they all showed up to his mayoral thing with fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, it's true. They're like, we're on the fence.
Yeah.
I think they gave fucking this guy more breaks than they gave Anthony Weiner and shit. He just, in terms of a politician, like that guy threw pictures of his cock out to the world, and he still stayed in that race, that mayoral race, for a long time. This guy, they play a clip of him going like, I played this city like a hawk from hell, and they're like, stone him with vegetables.
And clearly a manipulated clip, because he's mixmaster in it, so it's not like he's actually saying anything out loud.
I would have been the one guy in the crowd who was like, I could argue for the fact that he's been duped. Like, maybe this is a mashup of some sort.
So Bruce gets a cat.
Yeah, which doesn't stick around in the third movie. Like,
No.
you never see the cat rolling around the fucking...
Well, I mean, he killed it.
Yeah, I got it home, and he was like, Alfred, cook this. I need to bathe in its blood to be young again.
I want some hot soup, Alfred.
It's weird. In this movie, at one point, she reaches down and grabs his cock and says something about it getting hard.
That's right.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like when, again, I'm beating a dead horse. Happy Meal. Although I could argue that is a happy
the
notion.
happiest meal of all.
Compared to fucking most of the other shit. He's still got those scratches on his face. She left him with a little something, man.
And she's not dead yet. Spoiler.
Apparently, yeah, really. Don't fucking. When they shot, apparently, according to Tim Burton, when they shot the movie, she is dead. But they, at the last minute, they reshot the tail piece where spoilers, you're going to see, a Catwoman rise at the end of this shot. She stands up in the frame. That was not Michelle Pfeiffer.
No. Was that Sean Young?
Yeah, Sean Young. She desperately wanted to play Catwoman. For those that don't recall, man, she was originally in Batman. She was going to be Vicky Vale, and she busted her leg riding a horse or some such shit. So they replaced her. So she lobbied hard for the role of Selina Kyle, so much so that she showed up to the Warner Brothers lot. Here it is. That's not Michelle Pfeiffer. She showed up at the Warner Brothers lot wearing a Catwoman mask, and then
that she made herself.
They escorted her off or something like that. But she was lobbying hard for the part, and then it wound up going to Michelle Pfeiffer. But she was pretty fucking bitter about it. Maybe they could have called her, though. They're like, you wanted to do it.
Come on in.
You're not going to be on camera and you got no lines, but you can play Catwoman.
See the back of your head.
Dream. This movie, I mean, again, we went pretty hardcore at it and stuff, but I can't back down and be like, we're just kidding around. I mean, we were kidding around. It's not like a cinematic abortion or something like that, but holy fuck, dude.
It has none of the nostalgic veneer of the first one. Like, it wasn't the first Batman movie ever that took it seriously. And that first one didn't even really take it that seriously.
And it's really weird because the entire third act is driven by baby killing, which sounds serious, but somehow it's still fucking camp. Like, it's kind of like a version of the TV show where the stakes are a little higher. You're not like feeding Batman to a giant crab. You're stealing babies and drowning them in a sewer. Or at least that's your plan, with the tiniest train on the planet to collect all the first.
And by the way, his plan, which has sustained him through the entire movie, is dismantled, I will use the word again, by the arms of somebody pulling the driver out of the train.
Yes.
That's it. And then the plan is done. Like,
that's it.
He moves on to blowing up Gotham. Like, he's like, fuck, all right, well, let's blow shit up then. I got nothing. Do you want to get another guy to drive the train? No! Blow it all up.
Yeah, we're finished. We only had one driver. Fuck. I didn't have a plan B.
The tall guy was the only one who had keys.
Are you kidding? You didn't have a backup plan? Like, no. I had one plan, and then all of a sudden I was running for mayor. And then I went back to the plant. Burgess Meredith ran for mayor in the TV show, his Penguin. Remember in the Batman TV show, the Penguin ran for mayor as well.
Won.
So this clearly was the beginning of the backslide into, the kind of campier Batman.
Yeah. And the Batman where we're not going to care that much about the way the movie works or the way the characters interact or the story.
Do you like this one better or Forever? It's a tough call. I mean, I guess we'll find out when we watch Forever and do this again. We're going to have to. But I bet you Forever will be an easier watch than this will be.
I think so. I think because it is of a piece. Like it all feels like this kind of confection that he was building. And it's not to my taste and none of it makes any sense, but it's all that tone where this just doesn't even hold together on a tonal frequency, on a story frequency, on a logic frequency.
It's close to a musical in as much as the town does look small enough to be River City. And there is trouble, my friend. With a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for penguin. Oh, we took it there.
Wow.
Or a C that rhymes with Catwoman. But it's clearly, I'm trying to think by the next movie. Like I think Joel Schumacher was the first one that moved outside into the real world. Like I remember they shot on Wall Street, I think, for Batman Forever. Not Batman and Robin, but Batman Forever.
Right.
Long before fucking Chris Nolan shot on Wall Street for The Dark Knight Rises. A lot of little parallels in this movie, though, that I never realized until I watched it again in terms of like, oh yeah, the fucking Batmobile turning into another vehicle.
Yeah, you look deeper than I did. I was just looking through my hands going, oh God, when will it end?
Oh, it was tough, dude. It really was a tough sit. And I'm sure there are a bunch of people going like, you're selling out on your fucking childhood hero. No, I'm not. I love Batman. That's why I'm sitting here going like, this ain't Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like in 1992, we had to deal with it and go like, fuck yeah, this is Batman as it gets and shit. But there's one Batman moment in that whole fucking movie to me, and that's when he goes, "Shut up, you're going to jail."
And when he rolls his eyes at the
that's not a Batman moment to me. Like that's more of a Michael Keaton moment. That's more of a I like that moment because it is fucked up of like, what a weird life I have. But Batman would never do that in the comics. He would never look to the side and be like, these friends of mine or something like that. I wouldn't even say that. I like the moment, but I wouldn't say that's a fucking Batman moment. The only true Batman moment is him going, shut up, you're going to jail. That sounds like the goddamn Batman. Everything else sounds like a reactive dude in a suit who's just like, oh, shit blew up before I got here. I'm sorry.
Stumbling through crime.
I wish we had more love for it, man. I wish we could have sat here and reported like a good fucking time, and we egged the movie pretty hard, but what the fuck? It's, I can't make a Batman movie, so obviously it's better than any fucking Batman movie I'm ever going to make or anything like that. So there's my little caveat at the end. We shit in its mouth for 2 hours. I'm like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Nobody's asking me to make a Bat movie.
It's true. I mean, there's craftsmanship. I'm certainly not taking anything away from Tim Burton. He's a beautiful visual stylist, clearly, but just not very interested in the character of Batman, which is ironic because the character kind of made his career.
Yeah.
I mean, with all due respect to Danny DeVito, there's still a better iteration of the Penguin to be had out there.
Oh yeah, no, you're Owen Davian from,
that's the character's fucking name. I'm going to hurt her. Where's Batgirl? I'm going to hurt her. Wah, wah, wah. And he does it ironically, right? Instead of like, wah, 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 or Burgess Meredith is wah, wah, wah. And Penguin in the movie is like, but he could just be like,
wah, wah.
Yeah, wah. Where's your laugh? He's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hurt it.
Fuck you.
Batman Returns, ladies and gentlemen, from 1992. Never imagined as I sat there watching it in that theater in Vancouver for the first time back in summer of 92. That one day I'd be fucking jamming its frequency so hard, so to speak. But man, it did not fucking hold up. But hey, any Batman movie over no Batman movie.
I will take it.
Next up, when me and Mark get back together, we will of course keep going with the oldies but goodies and watch, Batman Forever. And I think it'll go the same way. Like Batman was an easier watch than Batman Returns. And I think Batman Forever is going to be an infinitely easier watch than Batman and Robin.
I think so.
But I think it's interesting to note and very important because in my mind, like I learned something in watching this time around. In my mind, it's like, oh, the whole fucking thing started going to hell when a fucking Schumacher lightened it up. No.
Nope.
Not at all. I owe fucking Joel an apology, man. This downward slide began about 40 minutes into Batman Returns. It just kind of continued on. And one could even make the argument that fucking Batman Forever levels off. It's a falling aircraft that levels off for a little while and flies for a bit, and then
I mean, it's still flying through a soup of shit.
and then they're bound
it's not
for
sinking anymore.
for nothing good. But it's not the Batman and Robin plummet into the sea. So it kind of writes itself for a little bit. Next time we sit down together, me and old Marc Bernardin here, we'll definitely kick back and take in Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever. Thanks for hanging out with us here, man. Sorry if you're a huge Batman Returns fan. You're like, you guys fucking shit on everything that I appreciate in life and know is good. I can't imagine there's somebody that's like, I prefer this to Nolan's films.
There can't be that person.
But there's some people who like Batman Returns over Batman.
Really?
Baffling, I know.
Holy dogs.
I mean, the Batman, like Batman alone is worth watching for Nicholson's performance.
Yes.
Which, as game as Danny DeVito is, wearing the makeup and like, and all that shit, and as game as Michelle Pfeiffer is to vamp it up, put together, they're not as fucking compelling as Jack Nicholson's Joker.
And at least, like, Nicholson's Joker, that character had a purpose and a reason and made sense within its own confines.
I still don't know why Penguin doesn't like Batman in this movie.
No clue. No clue. And I don't really know why Catwoman doesn't like Batman. First minute she sees him, she starts beating him up.
I don't know why anybody doesn't like Batman, because you barely see him. How could you even get to know him to not like him?
And he's not stopping you from doing anything. Like, he's not getting in the way of your grand design.
If anyone has a right to be mad at Batman in this movie, it's Commissioner Gordon, who gets fucking snubbed in the first 20 minutes where he's like, thank you for saving the city, Batman. He's go fuck yourself, Tubby. He's
Or like
oh.
Alfred should be pissed off at Batman because he was leaving. Like, we were having such a lovely day, sir.
Yeah. Alfred he ain't getting pissed off at anything because he's just like, I don't get angry, I just jam things now.
I made you some soup, sir. Oh, you don't like it? Oh, fine.
Well, then I'll jam my emotions, sir.
Wiki.
Oh my God, dude.
Saddest jam ever.
Oh God. That is the fucking weakest jam, dude.
The weakest jam.
Oh Lord. There it is, folks. Batman Returns. We didn't make it, but we fucking watched it. We will watch more Batman movies, of course, in the future. Like I said, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin coming next time we kick back with Mark. Thanks for being here. You're fucking, what was this, 3 times for you now?
This is the 4.
Crazy. There it is, folks. Thank you, Marc Bernardin, for hanging out with us.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Going and suffering through Batman Returns. Next week is episode 50 of Fat Man on Batman, and we're going to put up a live episode that we recorded at Caroline's last week in New York when I was out there for New York Film Festival. So that's what you can look forward to next week, man. But that's it for this week, man. Come back next week, same fat time, same fat channel, smodcast.com.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com. Kevin Smith and his wife, Jen Schwalbach, have traveled the globe, selling out theaters left and right. The Secret Stash now proudly presents one sold-out night in London, available on vinyl, as in that thing you put on a turntable. Plus one, Murica. Crank up some goddamn funny storytelling, recounting the night that one of Smodco's royal family OD'd on weed. Pick up Plus One, Murica, in regular or limited autographed editions, available exclusively on jayandsilentbob.com.